Rooster Teeth podcast this week brought to you by Audible, Blue Apron, and Casper. I'm Gus.
Oh, I'm Gavin.
I'm Barbara.
I'm Bernie.
And I'm Gus. It almost worked. I think a little bit of transition.
Okay.
We
No, they
I
did
don't
the
know
right,
if
they
I
did the right
should
thing. Barbara fucked it up.
We didn't practice.
I fucked it up.
Yeah, we were going to go through one time, and then we were going to go back the other time.
I didn't
and
hear
there was
that.
going to be a wee little Gavin coming in
Coffee
late.
everywhere.
Gavin, who has been absent for quite a few podcasts because he's been living in the desert.
Hi, Gavin.
You smell like something.
It's coffee. It's because he spilled coffee everywhere as he was
coffee?
running in.
What a nightmare. Spilled on
How
our
long was
tables.
I, how was I late?
It's because that's a clock right there, and the time.
How was I late?
It's a linear fashion.
Hey, everything was worked out. I don't know what happened.
What were you doing right before this?
Oh, I had a meeting with Will.
Will Hyde?
Will was like, "Brap, brap, brap. I don't want to make you late for the podcast."
Oh, fuck that guy. He made you late? Fire him.
He said it while saying, "I don't want to make you late."
Yeah, and he made you late.
Think if he hadn't said that-
though?
That's how close you were.
Why didn't what?
Why couldn't you have just left?
That's rude.
Yeah.
You can't just 180 in the middle of it.
It's not rude.
It's a
when
power
you
play.
guys
It's a
are
power
on the
move.
show.
Well, to be fair, I ran between there and here. I just didn't run fast enough.
Making-
That is
making you
British properness. So Ellie's like that too, where she won't cause a ruckus. But what's great about her, she saves all that up for like when something goes wrong for me, and she can be aggressive
To you.
on my behalf, not
Oh.
to me.
Oh,
So far,
I thought you were going to say she takes it out on you.
no.
Has she ever fired back at you?
Let me think about that. Probably over something.
One more time. Ooh, scary.
That was waiting for that. Here it is. There you go.
Oh.
That's what it is. I was hoping that was gonna be all queued up.
Gavin, I haven't seen you in over a month.
I haven't seen you in a while either.
What have you
Look
been
at
doing, young Gavin Free?
that. Out in LA in the desert, filming some slow.
By the way, saying you were in LA is a very kind
yeah.
geographic footprint for where the fuck
You know
were.
when in GTA you leave Los Santos and drive to Trevor's Airfield?
Yep.
I was filming in Trevor's Airfield.
Yep.
There was even a plane.
You and Dan got very tan out there.
Do you know what? Something happened that's never happened before. I spent a month just stood in the desert. I tanned through my shirt.
What?
Like, I don't have tan lines on my skin. I just tan right through it.
And you don't wear sunscreen, right? At all?
No, I did for that.
Is
Oh, you
your
did?
scalp burnt at all?
They used to spray it down.
Spray it with what?
Like the spray sunscreen.
Yeah.
On
I've
your
never heard of that.
in your
How
hair?
do you protect the top of your head?
Do you do that?
I have to. I put just a little bit of sunscreen right on the
With a
line.
spray
of
On
my,
your part? Because you're
Yeah.
so pale. You're like clear.
my
Yeah.
Like
Sorry.
a jellyfish.
yeah, no, my scalp has burnt so many times, and it's the worst feeling ever.
I don't think I've had that. Maybe I should be doing that. But
It's
my hair is so
a-
dense that it's
I don't
just
think
like,
the sun has
probably all
ever touched your scalp.
I don't think. Let me see if I can get
It's
to
a
my
pretty
scalp.
dangerous for
I can't do
skin
it. There it is.
cancer.
There.
There's scalp. There
It was
we
like
go.
purple.
I knew it exists. What's that?
Your scalp's like purple.
Probably because it's oxygen deprived. Can't get anything. It's
Would you ever shave your head?
I have in the past. I think I shaved it during Rooster Teeth years, didn't I?
Bullshit.
Gustavo
I
Cirola?
don't think so.
I had
Why-
it
when
shaved
did
at
you shave your
the
head?
previous job, the telecom job. No, now like growing it out, it's like I'm at that stage where it went up for a while and now it's just like becoming denser, and I'm just trying to figure out how long I would have put up with this.
Could you wear your hat on top of your hair?
Probably. There.
Is that the biggest problem in your life right now?
Dude, it's so funny you say that because something I've been absolutely fascinated by are the people who are furious
Ooh.
about the McDonald's Szechuan sauce and that there wasn't enough of it. And we actually had it on the podcast. Were you guys all here for that?
Yeah, I was.
Were you?
Yeah, a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago. So, I mean, we kind of did it because it was interesting and this thing that McDonald's was doing. But if we didn't get it that day, I wouldn't.
I didn't even know this was a thing. I didn't know it was happening until like the internet exploded with anger at McDonald's.
In a rare moment of profanity, my kids were aware of it and wanted to go do it. And we were going to Fredericksburg.
Do they watch Rick and Morty?
They do. JD definitely does 15. I think Teddy's probably seen some clips of it.
Okay.
Teddy watches like basically YouTube. That's everything on YouTube. He just watches it, which is why his computer is right next to mine at home because I can hear everything he's listening to. Which is the only way you can monitor kids these days. They got to be in the fucking room.
Watch
too.
him.
Yeah. But yeah, so we had to come all the way back. We were going to go to Fredericksburg for Oktoberfest. which was a great way to end Whole30 for me, was to go to fucking Oktoberfest and eat sausage and drink beer.
Or are you done with it now?
What is Whole30? Everyone's doing it. What is it?
It's where you only eat like whole foods.
It's a special
like
diet
steak,
plan.
carrot, apple.
Steak, carrots, and apples.
Well, so basically, essentially no dairy, no gluten,
Sugar.
no grains of any kind, no
Booze?
sugar. Yeah.
Wine?
No alcohol.
No alcohol.
No alcohol.
Yeah, it's pretty restrictive, but
Bacon wrapped jalapeno.
that you can do as long as there's no
Two
sugar.
Whole Foods.
As long as there's no sugar added to the bacon, right? So basically, if you look at the ingredients on a food product, if it has more than basically 3 or 4 ingredients, you're probably not going to be able to.
So is the idea to lose weight or to like detox?
It is to reset your relationship with food, which has actually worked pretty well for me. I have not had a Diet Coke in 35 days, and I'm not going back to drinking Diet Coke. I'm having a beer, which is I went back to alcohol, but I also don't eat sugar. So
That's not true.
What?
why is everybody laughing about going back to alcohol? What's that?
The juxtaposition.
Oh, that I won't eat
Fuck Diet Coke.
fuck Diet Coke, but
Alcohol.
let's
Sugar's
drink
in a
up.
bunch of natural
Well,
things.
this isn't fucking
Beer's
off
been around
topic.
for thousands of years. It's natural. It's good for you.
Sugar's in like fruit and stuff.
What's in? Yeah, you can eat that.
Natural sugar.
No added sugars. You got to stay away from dextrose.
Could you have like honey?
No, can have
Isn't
honey.
that natural?
Yeah, but that was off limits.
Plus, it doesn't spoil.
Stop.
It's really got that going for it.
Anyway, these fuckheads who are upset about the Szechuan sauce are amusing to me because we went. I got the kids in the car. They wanted to go get some Szechuan sauce. I went. We drove all the way to the McDonald's right over here, right by the studio, the one on
Yep.
I-35. And the fucking parking lot was just like, there was tons of traffic. And I'm like, man, ACL is just a nightmare. It's a big music festival. What's going on here? That wasn't it. We got to the McDonald's and there was a line of people wrapped around it. And I
For
was
the
like,
sauce.
yeah. I assumed that what they were there for. Because if you just look demographically at the line, they were either there for Szechuan sauce or they were selling tickets to the opening of Star Wars. One of the two. What's going to take place?
Do you know a pro ZDKP on Twitter? He tweeted, "Hello, Hot Topic. I need a T-shirt that says I like Rick and Morty, but I'm not a total dipshit."
Yeah.
Basically, because Rick and Morty fans, I think, were the problem in this, right?
Yeah.
Like they were proving themselves to be pretty annoying at some
It was
McDonald's.
just people
I saw
who
some
want to be
video.
involved with something. You know? That's basically it.
Are you Ian?
I had a little piece of gum. It kind of worked its
I'm
way
just
out.
seeing like
Oh, I saw it. It jumped out.
tiny little fragments of white are falling out of your
I had a
mouth.
piece of gum.
But why would it be in separate pieces? What,
I don't know.
Do you separate your gum into like one for each tooth?
I think this was like a guy that made its way into a crevice and it just came out.
Eating nuts and chewing gum at the same time. Fucking
It
separated
got to the
all.
point where you were talking for a while. You're like, yeah, and then the special, and then you were just like, bits of white shit were falling out. You need a moment.
I feel like I fucked it up. Barbara was
We can
talking
all
about
have
having
a-
a baby with me earlier today. So it's,
You guys are gonna have sex?
no, we're gonna
No,
have a
we're
baby.
just gonna have a baby.
That's
Oh.
it. Barbara's got baby fever.
No, I don't.
No, she doesn't.
Don't make that up. That could be a
Barbara's
problem.
crying.
I don't know why. It looked like one of your teeth was
I
coming.
know, right? It was like,
It's like that nightmare you get sometimes where your teeth are breaking.
I never have that. I
You
want to
never
have
had
that.
That's
I
not
hate
good.
That.
My
Usually
girlfriend in
it's-
college had the most amazing recurring stress dream where she had a contact lens that was the size of a punch bowl and it was filled with fluid and she had to get it into her eye. It's like, it always seemed like the greatest dream ever to me. But so we pulled up to the parking lot of McDonald's, me and the boys and Ashley. We were doing it on our way to go to Fredericksburg. And we saw this line. I was like, oh no, this is going to take like probably 45 minutes to an hour to get through this line. But the kids are interested in it. You know, when you have kids, you guys don't know this, but when you have kids, you'll do the dumbest
Not
shit in
yet.
the world to entertain them, basically, if they want to do it. And I said, whoa, this is a line for people for the Szechuan sauce, I guess. And Teddy goes, what? And I said, yeah, this line. He goes, there's people in lawn chairs. And I said, yeah, it looks like they've been there a while. And Teddy goes, well, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And JD just from the back seat, she goes, yeah, fuck it. And of course, I should have chastised them for swearing, but we all just laughed. And then we left.
That's really. Well, I guess I haven't hung out with JD in like a year, but that seems unlike him.
Yeah,
It does.
I guess he's jaded.
Well, he had 2 moments of vulgarity on this trip where,
That wasn't a no. That was just
let me
using
take
that
it back.
word. Thank you.
was it supposed to be a playoff of JD?
I assume that's what she was doing.
No, that's good.
No, it's just
Yeah.
it
actually fits really
Like
well.
Barbara's always ready to make a pun. I'm always ready to hear a pun from Barbara, so I just assume it's going to be nonsense.
Thank you, Gavin.
Yeah, so compliment.
Oktoberfest in Fredericksburg, by the way, overrated. I remembered it in my head as being better than what it was.
Maybe it used to be better.
Maybe.
All that Szechuan sauce showed up and ruined it.
Maybe I don't like the Germans anymore. But people are upset about the Szechuan sauce. They are furious on Twitter about how McDonald's mishandled McDonald's.
Was it just a shortage?
Mishandled.
They didn't have enough?
Yeah, I think they said some locations that were supposed to be participating in this promotion didn't get any, and some locations only got like 7.
Those poor employees.
Get a life.
I also feel like, okay, let me take it back. I said it before that this is all Rick and Morty fans being assholes. I don't mean all Rick and Morty fans are assholes. I mean, it's like they're portraying
Well, you're
themselves.
thinking it, clearly.
Clearly.
That's exactly what you meant.
No, there's just like a video I saw of a like crowd of maybe 400 people in a McDonald's, and they're all like reciting Rick and Morty quotes.
Right.
And I'm just imagining those McDonald's employees wanting to kill themselves.
And there was another guy who jumped on the counter and he was screaming, "Give me the Szechuan sauce. I'm Pickle Rick. I'm Pickle Rick."
Yeah.
And,
like that just paints them in a negative light.
And if you watch it, it could have been done ironically, but it just goes to prove it too. If you do something ironically, you're being the thing. That's like no one is in on the irony with you.
Yeah, unless they're all your friends.
Right. Mm-hmm. You're just being the thing. And that guy was a fucking idiot. But
and then McDonald's has to come out and apologize.
I know for this. I want to, my career after Rooster Teeth, I just want to be a person who is a consultant for major corporations. And my whole thing will be bring me in when you're thinking about doing a cool, like hot thing from the internet.
Yeah, like a hip.
And I'll just show up and say, don't do the cool thing.
Bad idea.
Whatever you're thinking, don't do the cool thing.
But it was probably good for McDonald's total in sales that day.
Probably was.
Yeah, it was fine.
And these people, I'm sure, despite the negative connotation, it's in everyone's mind now. Right. We're fucking talking about it.
Right.
I kind of want to go to McDonald's after this.
I know, right?
It's working. It was that way when I saw Super Size Me. I wanted to get McDonald's.
You should go and get some chicken McNuggets, and when they ask you what sauce, be like, "Oh, just give me some of that Szechuan sauce."
Yeah, I heard it's new.
Guess where we went after we left at McDonald's?
Fucking freak out.
Wendy's?
We went to another McDonald's that didn't have the Szechuan sauce because there wasn't any line. So we went and got McDonald's at a different place.
Because you wanted.
What'd you get?
Yeah.
Did you get nugs?
I got 2 cheeseburgers.
For you?
Quarter pounders?
What do you mean for me? No, 4 people split 2 cheeseburgers at McDonald's.
The cheeseburgers are tiny.
Because we're a family from Soviet Russia. What the fuck's wrong with you? Yeah, I had 2 cheeseburgers. You want to know what everyone had?
Yes.
Yeah. Ashley had the buttermilk chicken tenders. The kids had chicken McNuggets because they were in the mood for chicken McNuggets. And they had it with normal sauces, not Szechuan. And they were totally fine with that.
Chicken tenders now at McDonald's?
Hmm?
Why would anybody get that
It's whole
over
meat.
chicken McNuggets?
I agree with you.
If
Ashley
you-
was like, "Here, do you want one of these?" I'm like, "No, I want one of the chicken
The
McNuggets."
nuggets.
Yeah.
Why would you ever choose anything else if
I
there's chicken McNuggets
totally
on the plate?
agree.
The only way you would choose it is if it's like a giant chicken McNugget. Like if it's just a normal chicken McNugget but huge, I'd be all about that.
Mm.
No, because then the
moistness.
proportions of crust and meat are wrong.
Mhm.
You're gonna have a lot of meat.
Crust.
Well,
Use
what-
crust with me.
Fried shell?
What's the outside called? The nug scrapings.
Batter?
Batter?
Yeah, the batter. There you go. Yeah. But anyway, you just have big wedges of chicken. It'll be like just eating a chicken breast. It'd be rough.
Yeah. The
Except
chicken McNuggets
it's
is
not a
great.
chicken breast. It's mulched chicken.
I go to McDonald's to eat food that's already been digested. And I don't have to do any work. I just
wanna
swallow
be-
it and it's already done.
Well,
Yeah. You feel it dissolve in your mouth. That's it. You just swallow the slime. And that's why I go to McDonald's.
that should be their new slogan.
Swallow the slime.
If you could have,
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
But not with Szechuan sauce.
Swallow all the slime.
if you could have a Big Mac and fries, do you like Big Macs?
I don't. I've only had one in my life. I broke my streak.
Okay,
I like
It might
I
be-
but
I love
it's
Big
fine.
might
It's
be a
great.
hard scenario.
Give me a Big Mac. I'll eat it.
But if they could like blend it all up and just make it into like a food cube that's much denser, and you could just eat it in one bite, but it was all the calories of a Big Mac, would you
No,
eat it?
I eat food for the taste. I
Yeah.
don't eat it for the calories.
Would it fill you up?
I'm not a robot.
It would be
you.
like condensed taste.
Yeah,
though.
but you
like
don't-
the taste
Would-
enjoyment would be heightened because it's denser.
Would it fill you up though?
Yeah,
I don't eat McDonald's to get filled up, though.
you just eat it because it's a treat.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what bugs me about Blade Runner, which I saw, is that all the androids eat as well, and it just
There's
such
tons of movies where the robots eat.
I know, but it's a waste of time. I get it because they want to see more human, but it's what a waste of time. Like,
And resources.
there's even a hologram that cooks for an android in Blade Runner. But have you seen Blade Runner?
No.
Have you seen Blade Runner?
I've seen the original one.
Have you seen Blade Runner? I liked it.
I've also seen the original one. That's not what he's fucking asking.
That completes our discussion of Blade Runner. The new one is considered a bomb, kind of, but it made as much money in its opening weekend as the first one made in its entire run.
I wasn't a big fan of the first one, to be honest.
A lot of people were a fan of the first one. It's a kind of a
very
cult
cool
classic.
looking, cool vibe.
Also,
but in terms
there's
of-
also like 5 different versions of it.
No,
I don't
there's
know
only
which
one.
version I've seen.
Theatrical one's the one.
Theatrical is the one?
I don't believe in all that final cut, director's cut, blah, 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 blah. The one they put out. I got to sneak into it when I was a kid.
Blade
I was
Runner
way
2049?
too young to be going to an R-rated movie.
It only made $32 million in the U.S. this weekend.
Yeah, but the original one made $32.5 million or something.
Yeah, just
like
after inflation.
that. Well, inflation. Come on.
inflation calculator. What was that? 84?
82, I think.
82. So
It's impressive for 82.
I can't believe you're just so dismissive of it. It's gonna be like by a factor of 10 probably.
A 10?
10?
Okay,
Shut up.
5.
How much do you think movies cost to go to back then, even?
In 82, like $1?
Get the fuck out of here.
I was paying $4.
Were you watching Tarzan on a Saturday morning?
I was paying $4 up until like 96.
I don't know who's
You're
arguing
older
what.
than me, asshole. Don't try to fucking turn this
But
around.
I know movies were worth $1. They had dollar movie theaters in the 80s. It was a big deal.
Didn't they have nickel ones?
Yeah. You had to fucking turn a crank.
Don't
Nickelodeon?
they still have dollar
Fucking
movie
dickhead.
theaters?
Hmm?
Don't those still exist, dollar movie theaters?
Probably so.
Obviously, they're not like new movies.
My dad.
That's $83.2 million, Justin.
So it's barely 3 times.
Yeah.
Almost 3 times.
10 times for the record would have been $320 million, just so you know. That's how far you are.
It's not even comparable. It's not even comparable.
You owe me $240 million. That's what I'm saying.
Adjusted for inflation, it's 0.
Adjusted for inflation, it's 0. After the economy collapses in the post-nuclear environment of Blade Runner. I do like this. I will say this about Blade Runner. They took the world that they built and they made a true sequel to it.
Is it in LA again?
I don't think they updated it for, changes in modern technology and how that would have been projected further forward. There is a piece of technology that he has. I'll say it right now because I don't think it's critical to the movie. He has a drone as part of his car.
Yeah.
But that doesn't seem to be like something that felt egregious to me. But it's the one piece of technology that has been developed since the 80s.
Do they have tons of companies like the original?
Yeah. And all the huge advertisements.
There's some companies that didn't make it in the original.
I think there are a
I
couple
mean, there's
companies.
like Atari everywhere and Pan Am and all these other companies.
Right, and
Is
Sony.
Pan Am still around?
Sony now. No, Pan Am's gone. Was Pan Am in the original?
Yeah.
Yeah. Classic advertising. They should have used it. I'm sure the logo's available. Didn't they use Pan Am for Mad Men a bunch?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
And Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah. But that
Yeah.
was like a true story.
Yeah.
It was like hopping around and stuff.
I love that movie.
Anyway, Szechuan sauce. Fuck it. People are mad about it.
Wubba lubba dub dub.
Good Lord.
People can just go to another universe where the Szechuan sauce never went away.
It's terrible.
What?
It's terrible.
Rick and Morty, come on.
Oh,
Imagine
yeah.
to be upset about that. Imagine how many things in your life would have to go right in order for that to go wrong. Like all of the things that would have to line up
There's a lot of things.
perfectly.
There's a lot of things in the world I'm mad about right now. Szechuan sauce doesn't even register on that.
You didn't even know what was happening.
I didn't even know it was going on. I like the show. I'm a person on the internet.
Yeah, we live in a world where it's like, yeah, but that's not a real problem.
Yeah,
You
it's
just like dismiss it as like some shit that you heard about.
Which is fine.
Everything's so important now.
Well, people are mad about it. Like they want to boycott McDonald's. And by the way, my new consulting business,
Boycott McDonald's.
yeah, right. If like that's it, not because they're poisoning me and I'm paying them to do it, but because they didn't have my particular flavor of poison on this day.
Do you think it'll go away? Like
Teriyaki ketchup.
250 years from now, do you think fast food like that will be illegal?
I think they'll have the cubes.
Yeah.
I think
the little dense cubes.
You'll be able to print your food at home.
It's not gonna be pills.
Like
My
taking
food pills.
I think the Matrix is going to be like
Human
a prophecy.
pods.
I actually think we're going to be there like in 40, 50 years.
robots farming us for energy.
People are going to prefer. Listen, if they had the Matrix today, people would walk into it.
What, like Ready Player One kind of style?
Yeah, I think that people would be very disconnected
Like
from
VR?
reality.
They'd want a different life.
Yeah, well, then you wouldn't care about your reality. Reality
No.
would be like boring and shitty.
Awful.
Right.
It's the way that
Think
you
of-
get
think-
to your pod.
I think about how much time I spent playing like World of Warcraft,
Yeah.
and that's nowhere near like that.
It's garbage.
Garbage. Yeah.
Compared to what we're gonna have. Yeah.
I'm
And
playing
have a
Stardew
world
Valley.
where, I mean, imagine World of Warcraft where Gus is like the coolest person in the world and everyone else seems like a real person, but it's just a bunch of
Gus is cool
AI
to some
constructs.
people.
Well, he's
I'll meet
mom.
them someday.
I never text Ashley, ever.
I know where this is going.
But I guess a while ago I texted her because Stardew Valley was
Yeah.
delayed. And then months and months went past. And then I texted her again. Well, she texted me saying like the release date. And now all we do is text about Stardew Valley.
I'm so happy. I'm saving
It's-
it for the trip to RTX London.
It's so good for planes. It's the best game. Have you played it on a Switch?
I haven't. I'm not playing Breath of the Wild. I have my Switch
You
going.
finally switched it up?
I did. I got my Switch. I got my Switch in my bag. That's how dedicated I am.
What color Joy-Cons you rocking?
Put standard.
Blue and red?
Should I
or
get this before
Red and
London?
blue or gray?
Right. Yeah.
Should I get a Switch?
Look at that.
Yeah,
Pazon.
you absolutely should.
I even have a protective case for my Switch.
Do you like it?
I guess we
You
got
like
a
it?
10-hour flight coming up.
Yep. I don't know if you can walk into a store and buy one yet.
A Switch?
Yeah,
Really?
they're pretty
Walk
sold out
into a
still.
Nintendo store and buy one.
Oh, cool.
been-
Where's that?
New York, this one.
Oh, cool. Hey,
Damn
just
it. God,
stop by New
shit.
York on your way to
I
London.
was just in New York.
It's on the way, bitch.
It is on the way. Just tell the
Yeah.
pilot, you fucking land in front of the Nintendo store.
Or you go the other way and just stop in Tokyo. Get one there.
Yeah.
Right?
Because
Why
that's
not?
on the way to London.
Sure it is if you go the other way, motherfucker.
I like how that's more out of the question for you.
Well, everywhere's on the way eventually.
Exactly my point, Gavin. I'm glad to see you've come around to my way of thinking.
Eventually.
I could stop in New York, go downtown, get a Switch, and get back on a plane before the Tokyo way.
Or
Hey, want a race? Let's do it.
eBay. No, I don't. Are you on my flight to London still?
I had to change my flight.
You See, this is how you got out of the bet with Ellie.
No, we'll just postpone the bet. Also,
What does that mean?
hey, check this out.
Gus, listen to what Gavin
Check
just
this out.
said.
It's bullshit.
I didn't
It's
lose the
bullshit.
bet. We're postponing the
Well, I-
bet.
This is like the achievement race all over again.
it's
I had to
the
change my
worst.
flight. But let me tell you this.
You work in an office where nobody pays their bets. Go ahead.
I pay my bets all the time. I
Just
don't know
like
what.
Lannisters.
So I phoned up American and I
Mhm.
was like, "Hi." I was doing all this friendly fluff that Ellie taught me, or just yelled at my face for a
Friendly
long time.
fluff.
And she was like, "Unless you buy a specific ticket number on British Airways, it's very difficult to get the upgrade."
She has an inside line, but go ahead.
And in 3 years, this woman I was talking to on the phone said she'd only ever got one upgrade using American miles on British Airways. And she said it was not possible for me. And I thought, that's fine, I'm changing my flight anyway. But it was not going to happen. Thoughts?
Did you get your upgrade on the new flight? Because it'd be funny if you didn't get the upgrade and you had the layover.
I wasn't bothered. I had to change my flight at the last minute.
Oh, okay.
So when are you flying out?
Wednesday.
Are you really?
Night?
Are you doing that thing with me?
What day are you doing the thing?
I don't know. Let's
I mean,
I'm going
be there
Tuesday.
I'll be there on Thursday.
Okay, cool.
I think we're on the same flight. I'll wave at you while I pass by you.
Just
But
go to sleep, dude.
The reason I had to change my flight,
Eggs are on. Just sleep. You're done.
I
Save
had
yourself
so I was shooting.
all those miles.
I was shooting for a long time in the desert. Pre-edited a video, ready to go. The video involved a gun, big fat mass shooting. So
Go
I
ahead.
thought I'll not put that one up. So now I have to quickly edit a new one.
You made a tweet about that.
Did I?
About gun violence. And I was going to ask you about this. I was going to ask you, you're very anti-gun. Is that fair to say?
I'm anti just everyone. Yeah, I guess so.
So why do you put guns in your videos?
Because I'm in the USA and it's legal.
Okay.
I mean, I've also had explosions in my videos. You don't see me blowing shit up day to day though.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point.
I
But
mean,
you-
all of our videos are like things that you wouldn't normally do.
Right.
Do you think I shouldn't have guns in my videos?
I didn't say that. I just think it's interesting, and I wanted to hear your opinion of how you are very anti-gun, and it's important to you
I'm not anti-gun. I'm anti the laws of guns
that allow you to have guns.
that just allow people to have these just shitloads of them and big old fat ones that fire really fast.
But that you've gotten your hands on.
If it was the other way, if it was so England, you can't really get a gun that you can fire twice quickly. It's usually like a black powder or a rifle that's single shot. So it's
Black powder like a musket?
I think the only handgun you can have is a black powder musket.
UK legal.
But the idea is that if
Like
you
a
walk
flint and steel,
if you walk
like-
into a crowd, you can shoot once, and chances are that's the only shot you're going to get off. You
that
have to
guy probably
quickly reload.
deserved it. The first guy.
Well, yeah,
right?
anyway, there's laws in place.
Joke, Barbara.
There's laws in place to prevent mass killings.
We
But you
talked
can
about this
still
when you were
use-
gone.
You can still
Yeah.
use guns in England. They're just different
Okay.
types.
But you've used
So-
automatic weapons in your videos.
This is true.
The UK banned handguns in 1997. Citizens are still able to own and shoot some shotguns and rifles with a license. Shotguns and rifles have to be licensed through the local police force. They carry out checks on it. For firearms other than a shotgun, applicants must give police a good reason for wanting to own one. Hunting or being a member of a shooting club might be seen as a good reason. Self-defense is not considered a valid reason. Semi-automatic firearms are legal as long as the size of the cartridge they are designed to fire is no bigger than 0.22 inches in diameter.
All right. Yeah. So
And
anyway,
shotguns are legal as long as they don't hold more than 3 shells.
there's
Three
more
shells.
regulations. But anyway,
That's
so
an interesting amount of shells.
And that includes one in the chamber.
I could still make those in England. I guess it's just a lot easier to shoot them here, and they're still legal here.
Is there such a thing as a 3-shell shotgun?
You just put a plug in it.
Yeah, but you take the plug out. It takes
Yeah,
2
but then that's
seconds.
illegal.
Right.
Like, that's
Yeah.
the same way in the U.S. Well, I don't know if that's still the case. When I was growing up, you could only have a shotgun that held so many shells, and you had to have it plugged.
It's like 11. though.
Right. It's a
Here.
lot of shells.
What I'm saying is, I don't know of any shotguns that's a double barrel shotgun. Obviously, holds 2, but then there's no chamber. I mean, the barrels are the chamber.
Right.
So it's not like, it's like, what's the one that has 3? It's like a pump shotgun where you have 2 shell, thump, thump.
Then you chamber one and that's it. Yeah. You just have to put a long.
I followed up my tweet by saying, yeah, we clearly have other problems that aren't guns, like bombs and knives and acid and stuff. I was just saying that the gun laws stop mass shootings.
Listen, I just wanted to ask you because I was curious about that, and I would have asked you on Twitter, but as an older person in this company, Twitter seemed like an insane way to ask you a question about your point. So I decided I'd ask you on the podcast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you've got someone's number and they've got yours, if you want to discuss
also,
something, that's a good way to do it.
Then people talk about how you're calling him out, and it becomes a whole dramatic
I'm calling him out.
event. No, but like now you could actually talk about it.
Right.
And people can't speculate what you're talking
I
about.
supported you.
True.
Thanks, Gus.
Even though you're a gun enthusiast.
Yes.
You preface that other thing. Listen, stop trying to make nice with all the fellow gun enthusiasts. You're on the outs.
I have to say it so that they know I'm not someone who's
fucking
just afraid of
snowflake over
guns
there.
and doesn't understand them.
Okay.
I know I'm very intimately familiar with firearms.
Another reason.
You know I have 2 guns?
That sounds horrible.
You what?
I have 2 guns.
I fucked You beat me to it, you fucking asshole. I plugged it.
I put 3 rounds in it.
Bullets look good in slow-mo, too. That's another reason to fire bullets.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying. It's just, it's a thing. I was wondering about that.
It's a thing. You're coming at me.
You know what would look really cool in slow mo? Shooting a deer. You gonna do that?
No.
It would look cool.
No.
Yeah, see, there you go.
That's against the terms and conditions of YouTube.
Killing?
Probably. No, it's not actually. There are hunting videos on YouTube. Pretty sure you can't monetize those.
You can't?
Is it like a graphic level though? Like if someone's hunting
If
something
it's hunting,
from far
it
away.
technically counts as a hobby video, and it's not like.
Didn't you say you saw a video like that? You tweeted about a video where you saw a deer die or something.
Oh,
Well,
jeez.
the deer died, and the guy was crying. He was really emotional about it. And because I've never hunted, I was like, "Why is this guy crying?
Yeah.
Is it really that a big deal?"
Yeah, and then you said it. The wording was in a weird way where some people misconstrued what you were trying to say.
Look, it's very hard to tweet
Right.
exactly what you mean in one.
Well, now
tweet.
you got 280 characters, right?
How do you feel about that?
I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
Okay.
I
I
loved
haven't noticed a
working.
difference.
Like
I
a
loved
rat.
working within the constraint of 140 characters.
I don't even know if I have it.
As someone who does social media for a living, it's kind of nice to have that flexibility. No, it's not nice. I'm getting a head shake. Why isn't
No?
it nice?
Sponsored tweets. They want more.
Oh,
No.
that makes sense.
Just say no.
Yeah.
Just say we only have 140 characters. Yet. We haven't gotten the 280.
Just
Then
lie.
sandwich it between 2 other 280 tweets.
Oh, Jesus. There's a shotgun called the Triple Crown, which is like a double barrel shotgun, but with 3 barrels. I've never seen that gun
What?
before in my life.
Send me that. Oh, you can't because you're on a.
No, just look up the RT Podcast hashtag on Twitter.
Why can't you send it to you?
Johnny.
Oh, jeez.
You ever seen that before?
No.
It's pretty cool.
So what I miss?
Does it have? How does that work?
I don't know.
What did you miss?
Yeah.
Does
what
it
I
have
miss?
3 triggers?
Where did you leave?
Oh, I don't know. It's a good question.
I
that looks-
don't know.
Oh,
I
it's
don't know
fancy.
anything about
That
it.
almost looks like a computer render, though, too.
I
doesn't it?
think that what it might. No.
No, that's
I think
real.
the switch up top might toggle between your different barrels.
That seems like a weird way to approach that.
What is that? Is that real?
Maybe just does all 3 at once, like a fucking cannon. It's raining shotgun pellets. That'd be awesome.
I've been gone since August,
Since August, mid-August?
like 22nd.
What did you miss? You missed the wrap of Bloodfest. Film that.
Single trigger. So weird.
Ugh, these guys are just gonna keep talking about fucking guns. Can we move on?
We're not even talking about them. We're silently sitting on the podcast looking at
I know.
That might be the longest gap of nothing being said on the podcast in the history of being on this podcast.
I was just fascinated. I've never
Because
seen
I
that
filled
before.
up the time by asking a question that required thought. So there were 2 moments of different thoughts happening, but no one's saying anything.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think of what the fuck happened in the last month, and you guys are looking at your precious guns.
If there's a pause and you've got time you need to fill, you know what you can fill it with?
What could you do, Gus?
You could listen to an audiobook.
Oh, that's a great idea.
So I want to thank
But who
Audible
provides audio?
for supporting this episode of the Rooster Teeth Podcast. Audible has an unmatched selection of audiobooks, original shows, news, comedy, and more. Audiobooks are great to listen to when you're driving, at the gym, or shopping. Millions of Audible members have access to performances by A-list celebrities and amazing narrators. Audible also has exclusives and original audio shows. Try it on your commute and ride with Audible. For our listeners, Audible is offering a free audiobook with a 30-day free trial. If you want to listen to it, Audible has it. Just go to audible.com/RT and browse their unmatched selection of audio content. Download a title for free and start listening. It's that easy. If you want to listen to a book that's popular right now, you can listen to Stephen King's It. It's narrated by Steven Weber. So go get a free audiobook with a 30-day free trial at audible.com/RT. That's audible.com/RT. Talk about it all the time. I love Audible. It's a great service. We're also going on a plane. Listen to audiobook on a plane.
Or you could listen to The War on Guns, Arming Yourself Against Gun Control Lies by Dr. John Lott, PhD. Surprisingly, it's got 4.8 stars across 154 ratings. I've never personally heard the book myself. Have you heard of this book called Guns of the South, Gus? I've been meaning to read it. If this is the one that I think about it, let me read you the publisher summary of Guns of the South. It's an alternative history book. It's basically January 1864, General Robert E. Lee faces defeat. The Army of Northern Virginia is ragged and ill-equipped. Gettysburg has broken the back of the Confederacy and decimated its manpower. Then, Andreas Rudy, a strange man with an unplaceable accent, approaches Lee with an extraordinary offer. Rudy demonstrates an amazing rifle. Its rate of fire is incredible. Its lethal efficiency is breathtaking, and Rudy guarantees unlimited quantities to the Confederates. The name of this weapon is the AK-47. So it's like an alternative history thing where somebody goes back in time and gives the Confederacy AK-47.
It's like the same premise you see all the time, or the same thing you always see on Reddit. Like, if 10 Marines went back to Sparta and fought against, whatever.
They have those cool simulators on Steam now that do that stuff.
It's the exact same thing. Like, who would win?
There's some very popular shows on the History Channel about that. Like Bravest Warriors. I know that's a cartoon, but something like that. I forget what the name of the show is.
Did you see, speaking of the Confederacies,
Speaking of the Confederacy.
Did you watch the John Oliver segment about Confederate statues last night?
I did not. Is he still talking about Confederate statues?
It was really interesting. Well, he talked about people's perception of the Confederacy and how most people think that, or the common defense is the Confederacy and the Civil War was fought over states' rights. When he finds quotes from the people who started the Confederacy explicitly detailing how it was about slavery. And he goes into how the claim that it's about states' rights is tenuous. While there is validity to it, it's really tenuous. And how all these statues were built way after the Civil War.
States' rights, like one of the rights being to have slaves in those states.
Right.
That's one of the rights. I mean, when they talk about states' rights. I did have an interesting conversation with
you guys aren't Americans.
Chelsea Harfouche the other day. We were at lunch, and she's from Lebanon, and we were talking about how
She's from Lebanon?
Mm-hmm. I said, and I remember Beirut, growing up, all the stories about Beirut in the news when I was growing up in the 80s. And I was saying, so your country had a revolution, right? And she said, well, no, not a revolution, a civil war. I said, it's a revolution when the revolutionaries win. It's a civil war when the government wins.
Yeah.
That's basically the way that works.
Right.
And then it made me think about our civil war, too, because of all the thing that's in the news today. And, California and Texas both talk about seceding. And it seems like, okay, if they vote to leave the Union, Catalan in Spain is going through this right now. It's kind of this idea in a democratic society, yeah, we should be able to split away. But that's not the case. Like, if they try to do that, like when the Confederacy tried to split away from the U.S., the U.S. fought them.
Right.
And, said, no, you're not doing that. You're going to stay in this country, and you're going to do things the way we want to do things, And it's the idea that these, it does seem like there's an ability to secede in our Constitution, right? That they could do that if they wanted to.
I think I've heard people claim that it's a clause that Texas agreed to when they joined the Union, which I think is
they should have the right to secede?
Right, that it can.
Maybe that's why I learned growing up reading Texas history.
Mm-hmm.
So does each state have a different contract?
Like a deal?
We're on a bad contract, guys. We can't get out of this.
We got to
for another
renew.
50 years.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I just think it's like one thing, and then they're done. TikTok game's locked. You're in the Union. And then you're
God,
done.
the amount of paperwork for that must be crazy.
Well, think about Brexit, right? Like the UK joined the European Union. Now there's trying to leave, and it's like, well, it's gonna take us a couple of years to figure out the paperwork alone on that.
Have you noticed any effect from that for you personally?
Me personally?
Yeah, just in terms of traveling there.
Well, not yet. I mean, I still can go everywhere in Europe that I still could.
Yeah.
After it happens, maybe. But I think about my visa petition. There's a lot going back and forth for a few years on that, and then at the end of it, they just gave me my complete visa application and petition. It's this thick, and that's just for one person to move to America. How thick is the paperwork for the UK to leave the European Union?
Thick with 2 C's.
What? Could you even stack all that paper in one stack? Would it fall over?
And if one person had to type it all out, how long would it take that person to type out all of
must
the
be cra-
paperwork.
I want to see the final paperwork when that's done, where it's like, and we're out.
Can you imagine having to read it all?
Oh god.
How many pages would you be in before you do that thing where you look at the last page to see how long it is? And you're
like, I'll just read the last sentence to see how it ends.
yeah.
And you're clear. Okay.
I can
Oh,
read
God.
12
Or you just
chapters
read
a
the
day.
first
I
sentence and last sentence of every paragraph until you're done.
Like
Okay.
buying a house too is just wedges of paper.
Oh, yeah. And you're just signing shit.
Yeah.
That's like a 30-year agreement. You know,
And you just want
here's
the
what this
keys.
means, basically.
Yeah.
It's like 8 pages,
Yeah.
but we're not going to
take our word for it.
This just means this. Just sign it. Yeah.
After I got my work visa, I would travel with the entire thing of my documents
Yeah.
for my work visa every time I would leave the country. And one time I had them on the counter of the immigration desk, whatever the fuck it's called, customs desk. And the guy was like, you don't need to travel with all that. And I was like, really? They told me I need to bring all my paperwork every time I travel. He's like, no, you just need the last sheet with like your little card on it. It's like,
Ellie-
cool.
Ellie's currently traveling with a green card renewal, basically. So it's a renewal letter that she's. That
Did it expire already?
I don't really know. Yeah, I think so.
So
But
green
she's-
card was 10 years.
10 years. Yeah. It should be 10 years.
Maybe it's permanent residency. I don't know. She's got something.
That's
She
the
got- but
same.
she's got a renewal letter for it.
Well, I
know
think they're conditional to a point through marriage.
that. Yeah,
Oh.
this is like a renewal on whatever it was. Anyway, and when we were coming back from Toronto, I think I told the story when we got back, where they stopped her coming. She got through the Toronto checkpoint, and then she got to the U.S. checkpoint in Toronto to come through the U.S. And they were like, Toronto was like, oh, that's great. Got the letter here. Makes sense. We see this all the time. Great. Gets to the U.S. checkpoint. They're like, nah.
Wait, what?
nah.
Wait, where was the U.S. checkpoint?
You're not
In the
coming
U.S.
No, it's in Toronto.
But
Oh.
there's only what? You only go through one customs
I
agent.
thought you just meet U.S. customs in
yeah,
Canada.
You go through
And then
obviously.
when you
Well, maybe the
land.
Toronto person was the
security.
person who led her through to the U.S. place. You know, there was no problem. But either way, the U.S. person was like,
I have what you're talking about. I've seen this before. It's like advanced screening where you can preemptively enter the country. I've seen this before, where the U.S. will have.
we have it in
officers-
Cancun too.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
I've
if it's
seen
a
that
common
before.
destination to the U.S.,
Right.
You don't do it in the U.S. You do it outbound because they're common destinations.
Hmm.
And they were like, no, you can't. You're not coming through the U.S. Not happening. And that was it.
So
like
what
no
happened?
help. And so she was showed the letter and everything like that. Was totally prepared to fight with this person. And then they said, okay, well, let me talk to my supervisor. Supervisor comes over, takes one look at her and goes, Ellie, are you here shooting a vlog? And it was like, and then he's asking her about like the trip while he's just sitting there stamping stuff and letting her through. So it was like the greatest thing ever, like short circuited all that stuff.
So new Rooster Teeth, I guess.
Yeah. So did
Damn.
Rooster Teeth. So it was,
Do you think that would have happened if they didn't know Rooster Teeth? Like they
Who
should have
knows?
been let
She might
through.
They probably would have
Fucking
given her
living
a
in
hard time
Toronto.
for a lot
Yikes.
longer and then let her in.
she says they put her in a little room and yell at her, basically, is what they do. Have you ever been in a little room where they yell at you?
I've been yelled at without going in the room.
Yeah, I've seen people yelled at in the line at Heathrow before in London,
Yeah.
like screaming at people, like, "What are you doing? Why are you trying to come into the country?
Where is she?"
We know you're lying." Like, well, Jesus Christ! Like, like it's unnerving when you're the waiting in line and it's like they're yelling at someone right next to you.
Yeah, and you're just like holding all your papers.
They're like, "I swear."
It's so sad. Like, there's no such thing as being a citizen of Earth. It's all like
and there
just
never will be.
luck of the draw where you were born.
I know. It's so silly, right?
We're on the same planet. I can see why everyone can't go to the same place. It definitely has to be a place. But it is kind of crazy where it's like,
Why? Why can't everyone go to the same place?
well, overpopulation of the good places.
The good places.
Well, then it wouldn't be a good place.
True. Back,
Crowded.
Good
back
Yeah.
to the deserts.
Just the good places where people want to hang out.
New
Hey,
York
Puerto
City
Rico.
is crowded.
Or,
They-
or as Trump says, Puerto Rico.
Does he?
You didn't see that fucking stupid ass clip of him?
No.
more time?
I still think he was throwing.
Puerto Rico.
He was throwing paper towels.
Dipshit. It's 'cause it was
please.
so mocking and so fucking dismissive.
Really?
Yeah, it's terrible. He's so happy with himself. What a fucking piece of shit. Anyway, I'm sorry. Puerto Rico.
So they voted. Do you remember they voted to become a state in May of
Yeah.
this year?
Maybe rethinking it.
Might be rethinking it at this point. I mean, one of the reasons why the U.S. was kind of like, that's great. They have $70 billion of debt. Something like 40 million of which is a Trump bankruptcy
Yikes.
in Puerto Rico for a golf course or something like that. But yeah, they voted to become the 51st state in the union, which they traditionally have always voted against, right?
Yes. It's
And this
been
year-
a couple of times, yeah.
And this year they were like, yeah, we want to do that. And then this happens, with the hurricane hits and very little or very late response.
Or you could say very little and very late response.
Both.
Using and instead of or.
Column
applies
A and
there.
column B and the superset. And yeah, I think they would be rethinking it at this point. Do we have a death tally for Puerto Rico?
The last I read was 34. I don't know if that's gone up. Hurricane.
The amount of people without power was insanity. It was crazy.
And they're going to be without power for a long time, aren't they?
Yeah, it's still at 34. Yeah, it's going to take months, they said. And I think that Elon Musk was in talks with the governor of the island, talking about trying to get solar power.
Fuck
and
yeah, he
batteries,
is.
to help rebuild the infrastructure.
That's awesome. I hope he turns out to be a Bond villain. He's so set up.
Well, they do have
He's either going to be a
the
Bond villain
Arecibo,
or Iron Man.
radio observatory there.
Yeah.
Right? It was from GoldenEye.
It would be great too if
Oh,
Elon
yeah.
Musk could say, I have a satellite that'll redirect the sun's rays directly at Puerto Rico so that you guys can get tons of power. And it's
Isn't
like
that a
death
different
ray.
Bond movie?
A death ray that just like zaps everything.
That was Die Another Day. I think that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what Bond movie he's from. It's just that he needs to be a Bond villain.
He could make the Iron Man suit. Like, he could make a
I
fully
think about that all the
functional-
time.
If
I
he
think
wanted
about
to,
it all
he'd
the
be like,
time.
I'm going to
He's
spend
got
$1 billion.
Did you hear about the weird controversy around Marvel at New York Comic Con? What was that on Friday? They announced that the next day on Saturday, they were going to have a joint activation with Northrop Grumman.
That's so weird. It was really weird.
What is that?
Wait, what? Yeah, who is?
It's a
what
big
is-
defense contractor. Like,
Yeah.
They're like one of the largest customers of
So the real Stark.
the United
Yeah.
States Department of Defense.
Yeah.
They're gonna
Like
make a
Wow.
big
they
machine?
make like fighter planes, right? Like you would, as a consumer, you'd never buy anything from them, but the government
Sure.
buys like weapons all the time. And then they tweeted, "Come by our booth. We're going to do something with Northrop Grumman." And people got fucking mad. And the next tweet was just like, "The event's been canceled."
This event will not be happening.
And
I
so
was at New York Comic Con. I had no idea that
I
happened.
really wonder what the fuck were they going to announce?
Why did they get mad?
Because it really goes to the core of a lot of what the movies and what the canon is dealing with right now, right? Like Tony Stark regretting being a weapons manufacturer,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but only because he got blowed up.
right, by his own
blow it up.
He'd have been fine.
by his
otherwise.
own bomb. And so it's just a weird crossover. Also, like as a consumer, you all had never heard of him. Why the fuck
Why
do
are they
they need
marketing?
to have a
I
marketing
assume they're
deal
going to make a really cool prop of
with
some
people?
sort.
Why?
Maybe not a
Marketing.
prop. Maybe they were going to make an actual mech suit or something like that. And they were going to debut it in a place where people would be like, fucking A, a fucking mech suit. That's great.
Yeah.
Does it have
But-
Szechuan sauce?
Oh my god.
You didn't make enough for everybody, fuckers. I can't imagine how most of those conversations went, too, with the Szechuan sauce.
I just don't even want to think about it. It makes me angry.
Because these people are so mad on Twitter, they probably weren't the least bit
just
like
saw so many stories
confrontational.
about people's kids crying and like how they're ruined their week,
I know.
and this is like they were looking forward to it. It's like this is a sauce that you're gonna try, and then it's over.
They also talk about
so-
boycotting McDonald's. They probably didn't boycott it that day.
Yeah.
They were probably like, hey, you said you're going to have all this fucking Szechuan sauce, and you only have 20 packets at this location. This is fucking unbelievable. I'll have the 2 cheeseburger meal. Now make it large fry and large Diet Coke.
I guess sweet and sour.
Yeah, I'll have a 20-piece chicken. I know it's exactly how most of those conversations went. McDonald's probably in all those locations did gangbusters business.
I
that
bet a
day.
lot of people did exactly what you did, where it was like, man, we're never going to get food here. I still want McDonald's though.
Yeah, once you're thinking about it,
You
you're
get the
ready.
waft of it, and when you're hungry, it's like, I'm going to be eating it so fast because it's McDonald's. So good.
Also, if you get an
Exactly.
idea you want to eat somewhere in your head,
Yep.
Anywhere
that's all
else
you
is
want.
just shitty after that.
I'm at the real BB-8 at New York Comic Con.
The real BB-8?
Yep.
How big is the real BB-8?
Bigger than I thought it was actually going to be. It's like it probably comes up to about like mid thigh on me.
Is that just ball or is that ball plus head?
Ball plus head.
Got it.
Yeah,
It's funny.
but it's funny because we wanted to
sexualize
take
BB-8,
pictures
fuckers.
with it.
How dare you?
We wanted to take pictures with it, and we all like lean down and take a photo. Carrie leans down. Yeah, it was Carrie. Leans down to take a picture with it, and force of habit, you put your arm around something to take a picture, and he starts to go like this, and the person controlling is like, "Don't touch it," and then he like has to remove his arm. Apparently, you're not supposed to touch this thing at all.
BB-8's a germaphobe.
Yeah.
He's really struggling with it.
I get why they don't want people to touch it.
Is it like, surely they made a bunch of them?
It's the one they used in the movie.
Yeah, but no problem.
I know,
They
I
make
know.
one of something from a movie because it get broken.
It's
That's
one.
like
I
their
guess
official one.
one of
So-
the ones they used in the movie.
The
The one that
fact
got the least damaged, probably.
Yeah.
the fact that they don't want people touching BB-8 reminds me of a headline I read. I think it was last week, and I'm going to read it to you right now. Men at tech fair molest 3,000-pound sex robot so much it's left broken and heavily soiled.
Gross. What convention was
Heavily
this?
soiled.
It was, let's see.
It's not
It's at the Arts Electronica Festival in Linz.
Where's Lynn's?
He was in,
I like the idea they're like filling out the thing. Is it soiled? Heavily soiled.
How would you rate the
looks like
soiling?
Lynn's Austria.
Mildly soiled.
Austria?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen this documentary about real dolls?
So people were just like, just shagging it over
Wait,
and over
so
again?
they're like gangbanging this thing?
Apparently,
Oh, they must
Was
have
that shot?
mutilated it.
someone's going to town on it.
Giving it a little finger blast.
What in the world?
Yeah.
What are they? Where are the
Get
details?
used to it.
Like,
It's all coming. Barb.
I guess
It's all coming.
the doll. I'm reading from the article here. The doll, which reacts intelligently to touch and talks, was left filthy and broken by the never-ending male attention, and has now been sent off for repair.
Intelligently to touch? I could program that fucking robot. It says, don't touch me.
According to Austrian media who tested Samantha, she reacts when someone massages her breasts by moaning. Santos complained, the person who made it. Santos complained the people mounted Samantha's breasts, her legs, and arms. 2 fingers were broken. She was heavily soiled.
Fingers. Why were her fingers?
People can be bad because they did not understand the technology and did not have to pay for it. They treated the doll like barbarians.
So everyone is kind of giggling, but this is one of those conversations, guarantee in our lifetime, this conversation will not stand the test of time. That we thought that this was funny. There'll be a point in time somewhere in the future where this will be a crime.
well, like AI is so advanced that
Right.
it's actually cruel to finger
will be a-
blast a doll to death.
Where
absolutely.
was that?
Oh, they broke its fingers and
Austria.
everything else? Yeah.
At a.
Tech convention.
As soon as
what's
pain
the-
is real.
What's the line like for that attraction?
I waited 45 minutes.
Not as bad as the Szechuan sauce.
Wubba lubba
audience,
dub dub.
Wubba dub dub dub.
Yeah, you think this will be a super outdated conversation where we're like a bunch of
Laughing
cruel
at
old
it.
bastards?
Yeah, we don't give a shit about
I think it'll iterate, right? Like, obviously, we're not at a point where this doll has any feeling or any consciousness. or
Easy for
anything.
you to say.
It's just not.
It actually
Uh,
is easy for him to say.
Yeah, it is.
But we will get to a point where that is going to happen.
There is a documentary about real dolls, which are those like life-size dolls that are made with like customizable faces and breast size and body types and everything like that. It's a fascinating documentary, but there's this one guy who repairs these dolls for people, and there's this one guy who they're focusing on in the documentary has to send his doll away because it's so damaged and used by him. Weathered.
Soiled.
And the documentary then follows the guy who repairs the dolls, and he receives it in the crate, and he like, you know, carries it into his house and like lays it down on a bed to start like examining where it's done, and he like sticks his fingers in the vagina, and he was just like,
fingers.
because he's like,
What do you mean?
like,
What else is he going to use?
He's gonna scoop everything out with his hands.
I'm sure he's gone through a cleaning process. before
he's
this point.
done it. He's desensitized to it.
He's
at this
like
point.
a doctor.
Exactly. He's like, I
For-
think they
it's
call
like
him
a-
like the doll doctor or something like that.
Doll gyno.
That's
But,
not a real degree, by the way.
He's like looking inside of it. He goes, "Oh yeah, this thing's ripped to shreds," and he's just like looking around at it, completely desensitized.
But
If you're
someone's knob did
ripping silicone to shreds, that's like, what are you doing?
You got a hell
that.
of
Probably
a dick.
shoving some.
Like, it's stronger than
Objects up
your
there.
genitals, right? I mean, I would think. Barb, you want to weigh in on this?
I see people going to be doing stuff that they wouldn't do to a human.
Well, okay.
Well, because there's no pain tolerance on the other side.
I think most of the people in a real doll are doing stuff they're not allowed to do to a human, no matter what they're doing. Like sitting in the same room and talking to them. That kind of thing.
So I went back and I looked up things that Northrop Grumman makes.
As a joke, by the way, I feel like anybody can do whatever the fuck they want to in the privacy of their own home.
And whatever the fuck.
I really do. I mean that. It was
Anything
totally,
at all?
totally joke. Yeah, if it doesn't hurt anybody else, what do I care what they
Like
do?
eat a dead body?
Depends how the body died. No, you can't eat a dead body. That's
There you go. I knew there'd be
That's
something.
the right answer. There you go. You're coming around.
Depends how the body died.
if it died of natural causes, you know, I'd say
If it was a willing participant and it was into it,
no. I'm saying if what you're doing doesn't hurt anybody else, then yes. And whether or not your dead body constitutes you being hurt, it is your body.
Jizzing on a bag of kittens.
That's animals. You're talking about that hurts kittens. Anything else you want to reveal
Does
about
it
your
hurt
brain?
them? Or is it just weird and cruel?
No, it's fucking terrible.
I have so many questions.
That's
I was
so
trying to think of
terrible.
something really awful that wouldn't hurt anyone.
It hurts the kittens.
Does jizz
Does it
hurt a
though?
kitten?
It does. It's not right.
I feel like
It's not right morally.
I
but
feel
what
like
does
the kittens being in a bag hurts them more than that.
Well, the bat is more of just like a nice little basket, just to keep them all contained.
But are they
Just so that
covered from the jizz, or is the jizz
the
going
jizz
onto
just
them?
like streaked across a few of them?
they can clean each
I
other,
would
right?
say that that's wrong, yet not harmful for the kitten. Because
I
one of
think
the
if it
kittens,
happens accidentally, it's not harmful. Like the cat will get over it.
But the cat won't get over it if you
If you
aimed it
bought
at
a
it?
bag of kittens,
I think I won that
It's
argument.
just over there going.
I think I won the argument.
about what?
That it's not fine just because you do it in your own home.
I say if it doesn't hurt anybody, I think it hurts the cats. If you're
Why how does jizz hurt a cat?
It gets sticky.
I assume the other one would just lick it off and be like, ugh, ugh.
This guy didn't eat enough pineapple.
I would like to amend my previous statement. Gavin is not allowed to do anything in the privacy of his own home.
Right, but you're right. A cat licks its own butthole.
Yeah.
What does it care?
Like I had a
Probably
cat. I had a cat in college that would eat condoms out of the trash, and that was horrifying.
Oh.
It was horrifying, Barbara. It was horrifying.
I
and then
don't
would poop
wanna
them
know
out,
you
like
guys
half the
anymore.
condom
That's
would
what I
come
was
out.
going to ask.
You'd have to step on the condom and like let the cat walk away while the rest of it like pulled out of its butt.
Wait, what was said? I missed this.
So I learned to not put the condoms anywhere in a place where the cat could get
They
them.
ate the condoms. What happened? I missed what happened in between. Why is he gagging?
Because I had a cat in college that would eat condoms out of the trash.
Why is he gagging then?
Because he described what you'd have to do when the cat started pooping them.
Because it's eating a condom out of the trash.
Yeah.
It's fucking
used.
gross. Yeah. she's
That's
eating
why he's gagging?
I'm not throwing away like unused condoms. They're
No, I
used.
know.
What makes what? You don't think I should gag over a drippy, cummy Johnny coming out of a cat?
Johnny.
I'll tell you what's terrible is when it's 2 a.m.
Why
and
are you so desensitized to jizz?
why are you so desensitized?
No, she was upset about the kittens.
I was.
She has a bag of cats at home.
Yeah, it's in my pants.
You haven't
They make
Yeah,
the
but-
B2 bomber.
really been embarrassed until it's 2 a.m. and you're with somebody in bed and you both wake up because you hear this noise.
Oh, God.
And she's like, "What is that noise?" I'm like, "Don't turn don't turn on the lights." And I would go like wrestle with this cat.
I mean, I've heard of condoms getting stuck in pussies before, but this is.
there we go.
Oh, that's
Thanks.
good.
Let's go on.
It's pretty good.
So why were you just flinging them in the bin though?
Because I was in a dorm room.
As opposed to what?
I was in a dorm room. That's why. And I don't have where am I going to put it? Like,
Where do you
I'm not
put
going to
'em?
flush it down the sink.
Look in the bathroom or something, somewhere away from a cat.
It's still in a bin.
Right.
Do you flush
Yeah.
your condoms?
Do I personally?
Yeah, because that's bad
No.
for your sewage, isn't it?
Yeah, that's how fatbergs get made. And we know you don't like fatbergs. Where was there? Somewhere recently they had a huge one. Was it Baltimore? They had like a 40-ton fatberg that was like destroying the city.
I'm more worried about the prescription
just love
drugs
the
that
word
end up in the water supply.
Fatberg.
That's the thing that worries me more than anything else. More so than fatbergs, which some guy's job is to pluck those out of the sewer. You know,
See,
that creates jobs.
That's what you're supposed to
But if
get.
there's like a bunch of
doesn't-
Prozac in the water, that worries me.
Doesn't that all get
Yeah.
filtered before it comes back around
So
to drink?
it was
Let's hope so.
the fatberg was the length of 3 football fields, and it weighed 130 tons.
Why is it called a fatberg?
Because it's collected fat and grease and all that other stuff.
It's just from
And
like cooking. and
flushable
stuff.
wipes.
Mhm.
Blech.
Yeah,
We should
there's
just
that-
replace Antarctica with those.
Can't you burn that as fuel?
I mean, we're worried about the icebergs melting. We have fatbergs. Just float them down there
feel
and
like you
replace
could-
all the ice with
You
those
could
things.
use it
Use it for what? Candles?
like
What do you-
oil.
Gross.
what would that candle smell like?
Ugh.
Pennywise.
When you
Scented.
Oh, this
That'll be the new it. It comes out.
just
It's like
fatberg.
fatberg. You can't get anywhere in the sewers because the fatbergs in the way.
So what is that?
that's that's a fatberg.
Oh,
Part
it's
of
gone
it.
hard.
Yeah.
What are the contents of a fatberg? Can you look it up?
What am I looking-
If it's got more than 4 ingredients, I wouldn't bother with it.
fatberg content.
Feed it to my cat in college.
So it was.
Gabby the cat, by the way.
Gabby.
Gabby.
More like gaggy.
Oh, and that one that they just showed was from London. It's from the Whitechapel area. I can't really tell.
How do you know that? Do you,
I don't
like,
know.
Because I looked it up and
recognize
I
fatbergs?
just found it. It was like
Okay.
the first thing when I looked up fatberg contents. I don't know. It's a bunch of shit. Bunch of shit and fat. It's gross.
He's gonna run for president in America. Win.
Probably. So I asked Blaine a question yesterday and it made him strangely nervous.
Blaine got nervous. He always gets nervous.
So I had to shoot some $1 million butt today, and I was sitting at home last night, and I was like, I really don't know like how involved Blaine is with that anymore. Because I feel like the last few shoots has been someone else directing. So I sent him a Slack, and I was like, Hey, who's in charge of $1 million butt?
Oh,
you know,
no.
I'm just curious.
Uh-oh.
That's
And he replied, "It's me. Oh my God, am I getting fired?
yeah. Why'd you do that?
Is something wrong? What happened?" I was like, No. I'm just sitting here. I'm curious. Let me read the exact message he got. I wrote, "Who heads it up? Me. What's up? Somebody fucked something up?" I was like, No, just curious. Got MDB on my mind. Then he gives me the emoji. Then he wrote, did they get your shot list and everything? Am I getting fired? And I said, I just don't see you anymore.
Yeah, you're just asking a very simple question.
I saw him today, and he seemed sad.
He did.
What seems sad about him?
He just seemed down in the dumps.
Maybe he's just stressed out.
We got to cheer him up. We got to cheer up that Blaine. We got to be like,
What do you do?
Is it like
Give him a
squeezing
little-
his muscle or
give him a
something?
He wanted to come hang out with you when you got back from LA. He wanted to come watch Matrix with you. Did you reply to that?
I only got what?
I saw it on Twitter. He sent it to you.
Oh, I don't really see the tweets.
But yeah, let me ask you a question.
I
Did Twitter
may
make a change where your replies are now visible to everybody, right? They did this?
It's always been like that.
No.
Only if you follow both the people.
Right.
Right.
Well, now it will just pop up.
Now it just puts it up. If I reply to somebody who sent me a message, it just shows people
It's only
someone they don't
sometimes,
follow.
though.
No, it
I-
doesn't.
It's sometimes.
Yeah, like sometimes I'll be
Uh,
like, I'll sneak in this reply. It's just for them, blah blah blah.
Oh, yeah.
And then sometimes it'll be like, oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to involve you in this.
No, I use Tweetbot. That doesn't happen.
But anyway,
I think it's people's feeds. That's how it shows it.
I can't use Twitter at the moment because I may have tweeted about guns last week. So it's completely just. There's tweets happening right now about it.
I made a tweet that blew up
Go ahead.
the National Boyfriend Day
Oh, with the
with my boyfriend.
that
Everyone was like, "It's weird that you use these fingers and not the middle two."
Yeah, I think some people use their. Oh yeah, they do like this motion. They
do that.
do ring and middle.
Have you ever
Yeah.
tried that?
Yeah. I've tried everything.
she shredded so much silicone in her life.
It's true.
It's true.
But it has, I think the last time I checked, it has like 70,000 likes and almost 20,000 retweets. And nothing I've ever tweeted has had that kind of.
It is
insane
crazy
for
when stuff
such-
goes viral on Twitter like that.
Yeah.
Such an unoriginal tweet too. I mean, it was great. It was
Excuse
great.
me?
What?
I don't think I've ever seen a girl make that tweet. I know the tweet you're talking about, where it's here's
my
boyfriend.
my girlfriend
National
Manuela.
Boyfriend Day.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's from a woman. Probably. It's
Also, this helped
unexpected.
a lot. Or this.
There you go. You don't even recognize him, Bernie.
Sorry. I didn't really pay attention to the tweet.
What's his name,
I do have a
Barb?
thing
What's
now
his
where
name,
it's like
Barbara?
I do open like Instagram is like if I want to see a lot of my friends in their underwear, like I load up Instagram and I'm just like I can't load up Instagram now like in a public place because I feel like the people that I know
did
are
that on
mostly
a
in their
plane today.
underwear.
I did that
Yeah,
on a plane
and it's just
today.
like it loads up and I'm like, oh yeah.
You were in your
I-
underwear on a plane?
No, I'm saying the Instagram feeds are full.
I liked a tweet by Jessica Negri a few days ago, and then someone like messaged me on like on Twitter. Was like, "Hey, just so you know, people can see your likes publicly." And I was like, "Yeah, I know.
Yeah, thanks.
It's
All
fine.
the time.
Yeah, it's like that's fine. Like I'm trying
She's our
to,
friend.
yeah, I know her. I'm
Making
trying to support her.
Content.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, cool. Just want to make sure you knew that. I was like, yeah, it's
Yeah, I
I know
like
that.
way more on Instagram than I do on Twitter. It's just like a noise.
You never like any of my photos.
It's not true.
Oh. Maybe we just don't look. What? You never like any of my stuff. I feel like Gavin doesn't pay attention to me on social media.
Gavin doesn't pay attention to anyone on social media. It's not just you.
I ruined it. I ruined my Twitter.
What, by talking about guns?
Just delete it.
No,
I'm not
No,
delete it.
his Twitter.
Delete my
No.
Twitter.
Get rid of it.
Start from scratch.
nah, it's fine.
You don't need
It'll
those.
die down. It'll just
you
take
don't
a
need
few
those.
weeks.
What is going on with the film world and sexual assault?
It's crazy.
Oh,
There's a,
Harvey
Crazy.
Weinstein.
Sexual
it's
harassment.
not even just Harvey Weinstein. There's,
Oh, wow.
yeah, the Screen Junkies guy.
Screen
That must
Junkies
be-
guy, all the stuff that happened with Alamo.
The Alamo,
stuff.
yeah.
and all like and then any cool news.
There must be so many rich old dudes who are just like
And-
waiting it out. Like, please don't find out.
What the hell was also Harvey Weinstein's apology letter? Can we talk about how I fucking hate when people say that? I want to talk about how stupid that apology letter was.
Go ahead.
Did you read it?
I didn't. I don't think
I mean, let me pull it up here so I don't misquote a fucking pervert.
alleged pervert.
Pardon
Who,
me.
a pervert, an alleged pervert who lost his job for being a fucking alleged pervert. How about that? Okay, here it is. It's pretty long, so I'm just going to read portions of it, I guess. I came of age in the 60s and 70s when all the rules about behavior in workplaces were different. That was the culture then. I have since learned it's not an excuse in the office or out of it to anyone. It's like, so he said he grew up in the 60s and 70s, said that that's his excuse, but that now it's not an excuse?
Well, he's saying that times have changed and what was once, what is now completely unacceptable.
This
wasn't
didn't
before.
happen in the last fucking 5 years.
Well, that's what he's saying.
He's
There.
talking about stuff that happened 4 or 5 decades ago.
Yeah. But he's saying like people probably wouldn't have batted an eyelid at it then.
Yeah, who fucking cares? I hope
Added
that my
an
actions
eyelid?
will speak louder than words and that one day we will be able to earn their trust and sit down together with Lisa to learn more. Jay-Z wrote in 444, I'm not the man I thought I was, and I better be that man for my children. It's like, now he's fucking dragging Jay-Z lyrics into this?
Just he probably appreciates the shout out in the Harvey
Yeah.
Weinstein sexual harassment apology letter.
Thanks
I'm
against
going to
my
need
will.
a place to channel that anger, so I've decided that I'm going to give the NRA my full attention.
Anger. What?
Yeah, it's all over the place.
It's all over the place.
It's super bizarre.
There's a PR person who said that they said it was the worst handling of anything they've ever seen. The way that they're handling the Harvey Weinstein sexual harassment allegations.
Well, it's probably it's one of those things where it's like, how do you even handle it? It's so bad. Like, what are you going to do?
No, it's terrible. It's terrible. And there's so many women probably that haven't come forward. And I would imagine that the women who were, if I can, make it relative, the most victimized, the women who went along with it, they're probably not saying anything now at this point. There's probably lots of people coming forward.
Did you see that exchange? Someone retweeted it that I saw where it was like a guy saying, I don't understand why people who get sexually harassed don't just come out and
Really?
talk about it. And a woman was like, well, a lot of the times they nobody believes them.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, I find that hard to believe.
Jeez.
And that was I think that was a real conversation. It's like, well done, dude.
Well, my Twitter's ruined by people jizzing on kittens now. So you ruined my Twitter too. So thanks for that, Gabo.
But yeah, it seems like there was a huge, what's the right word? Purge of these people, like you said, in the last couple of weeks. Like we're finding out a lot of it in the film world, which is really, really awful. Like I mean, I really don't know what else to say about it. Like some of them are so weird. Like I read some of the stuff, about like the Screen Junkies guy, what he would say to women, and I was like, I can't imagine saying that to my wife.
I know. It's
Like
crazy.
I couldn't say those words.
What was one of the things he said?
Like one of the I'm paraphrasing, right?
Yeah.
But he there was this woman that he worked with who he found like some pinup photos of her. Then he told her that he was jacking off to photos of her and that he wanted to jack off to photos of her while she was in the room, and he didn't care what she did. She could be sitting there reading a book for all he cared. I was like, what?
Ugh.
Yeah.
Some people are really fucked up in the head.
These people make me feel so normal.
that's
Yeah.
I have that same feeling. It's like I worry about just like accidentally being inappropriate in some way.
But then you
It's
realize
shit
who
that I can't even come up with. Like, that's insanity.
Then you
to
realize
me.
who of like of all the people you know in the world, like people we work with and people in the industry, there's probably some weirdos like that, right?
that we work with.
Maybe.
Sure.
By chance?
I'm sure. There's got to be. We have a lot of people here now, right?
We do.
How many are we at?
Statistically,
300?
Yeah, statistically speaking, I'm not.
Statistically.
300.
not
You guys,
calling
have you had a
anyone out.
negative experience you want to tell us about?
No, I'm just saying. Like we have enough people here. It's bound to happen.
I'm sure there's someone who works
There's bound to be a weirdo, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
I want to be very clear about that.
I'm almost positive there's at least one person who currently works at Rooster Teeth or with Rooster Teeth who has masturbated on Snapchat. Or, chat roulette.
Is it you?
No.
Oh.
Do you remember
What
chat
is
roulette?
that? If that's somebody on the other, I mean, people can still engage in sexual activity,
Oh,
and
sure.
part of that is, hitting on someone and making the first move. But if that person's like, then that's when they back off.
But do you remember chat roulette? I keep calling it Snapchat.
Yeah.
Chat roulette.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Where 9 times out of 10, when you be going through chats, it's people who just have the camera on their dick and they're just masturbating.
So it was the site where 90% of the chats were awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same with Uno.
I just remember thinking, like, why are there so many weird fucking people doing this in the world? Like, why is this a thing?
Confirmation bias.
What?
See, I would
It's
say
like when you're in the Austin airport and you see construction, right? So when you go to chat roulette and you see,
Don't bring this up.
yeah, I know,
again.
right? If you see 10 dicks,
Did you
you're
hop
assuming
into the subreddit to get in on that, by the way? That conversation?
Mo up?
About how that argument about construction?
Did I? Did I?
I feel like you wrote something, but it was weird for you because you don't usually get stuck into an argument.
Oh no, I occasionally will respond to something on Reddit.
It was like a wedge too.
Occasionally I'll do that. I mean, no,
You seem pretty worked up about it.
Was it worked up about it? I'm mad about the construction. Mopac finally wrapped up the northbound lanes.
Northbound.
You get rid of those fucking orange and white barrels.
I
It'll
feel-
officially be over.
I
After
can't-
1998 construction. Is that what it was, Patrick?
I can't
Finally done it.
bitch about construction now because of that argument, but all of the Admirals clubs are under construction.
I know they are.
What
They
the
are. They're all under construction everywhere. Mainly in LA though. That's the one that bugs us. What were we talking about?
Construction, chat roulette.
No,
Jacking
chat
off
roulette.
on chat
So what are you
roulette?
saying? So what are you saying? Somebody at the company jacked off in chat roulette?
Yeah, you seem to
mean-
have a very specific
That's
scenario
totally
in
No,
mind.
I just think statistically speaking, with 300 people here,
that someone
and the
jerked
amount
at
of
chat
dicks
roulette?
I've seen on chat roulette,
But there's no real harm in that, though.
But then
There
you
is
start off
no
by saying
real-
someone at the company did, but that's fine. I mean, like
it's totally fine.
unless
I
they're at
just,
the office doing it.
I
that's
just
a little
thought
bit
it was
different.
a weird thing to have as
You
a
wouldn't personally do that.
Yeah, like in my mind, I'm like, this is a weird thing. Why do people get off on that?
Because
I
it's a
don't
way
get
for them to do it and have someone watch without.
Yeah,
I mean, they're already on there expecting to see penis. So if they hang around, then it's like, yeah, they're just gonna watch.
Like you're either going to see a dick or you're going to see that dude with a piano who's going to sing you a song. It's like you're hoping for
yeah.
the piano dude.
Ben Folds.
Well, sometimes you're hoping for the piano. Dude. Sometimes.
But I guess there's no risk there. Like you're never accidentally gonna get like a 5-year-old playing on chat roulette.
Did I ever tell you what I used to do on chat
Hopefully
roulette?
not, yeah.
This has been the
to
worst
troll people?
podcast to try to segue into an ad read.
I know,
But
it's just the worst.
I've been just
This
sitting here.
is my last story
All right.
about it. I think I talked about this on Always Open, but on chat roulette, what I used to do, I like to troll people because there were so many dicks that would show up. So what I would do, I would squint really close to the camera. I would put the camera right up to my eye, and it would be closed, and I would turn my head sideways so it looked like a vagina.
With eyelashes?
Well, because it looked like pubic hair. It worked.
Go ahead.
I'm not. All right, can we get a close up of Barbara's eye and see what this looks like?
Could you describe your pubic hair?
Why not just tape a picture of a vagina?
It works.
On the camera.
Because I didn't want to do that. I still lived at home. You're gonna be careful about that shit.
Parents weren't supervising you doing this shit.
You didn't have a desk drawer with a picture of a vagina in it?
No.
Yeah, but you're
that
chatting
was
like
after I
this,
moved out.
Barb. How are you doing anything? Because you're chatting like this.
Well,
I mean,
I would hold the webcam like this.
oh, I gotcha.
And
Can
then
I do it with my
would
phone?
tilt.
Can I try and make your eye look like a vag?
Here, yeah.
Okay, hold
By
on.
the way, Barbara, I just want to say in the future,
You
I want to
you're not gonna
criticize your
get this
technique here a little bit. If you're holding the webcam, you don't need to tilt your
I
head.
could just tilt
you could just tilt the
the-
camera.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then the lighting might get weird, though.
It's
What?
true.
Then the lighting would be on one side.
Just get a lamp.
Okay, so
Are we talking about lighting, Gus? How are we this deep into this?
Oh, I could really get off on this vagina, but the lighting's terrible.
So like, okay, you turn your head.
Or just take
Turn
it
the
and flip
camera.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. I'll just rotate afterwards. But I mean, that looks like an eye to me.
Zoom in, like really zoom in.
Okay, hold on.
So fake vaginas on the
Damn it.
internet are not a great gift for Mother's Day, but you know what is? A bouquet of flowers.
And then,
Okay, so
and then take it and flip
It's
it.
yeah.
Her whispering eye. One person
I gotta
saw
say-
role models back there.
I
Yeah,
gotta
there you
say-
go.
I haven't been able to bitch about this because I've not been here. But iOS 11 on my phone is such a bag of cock.
I love that
Gavin?
that's screen recording now, so you can screen record all the
Gavin,
shit that goes
it's
wrong.
utter garbage.
It's turned my phone
garbage.
into an actual piece of
It's
shit.
a piece of shit.
And I know I can't get an Android, but I really want one.
My favorite thing
It's my
now
own personal Szechuan
is
sauce.
how Control Center, if you turn off Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, that doesn't turn off
Let me see.
Wi-Fi and Bluetooth.
See?
You can show the camera?
I'm not buying it.
Do you have a camera?
I think if you get on the internet, you want to see vagina.
It's because of the eyelid crease.
No, it's the black.
I'm also wearing fake lashes, so it adds a
Yeah.
lot more. And I wasn't wearing. It wasn't that close up. You have to have the creases.
Sorry.
Okay.
So there's a bit of like.
No, I can
laid-
buy it. I can buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I can
that's
buy
a
it.
lot of black.
She's got the eyelashes
You got
on.
too
I'm
much
wearing
makeup
eyeliner and thank you.
Yeah. No, I can buy it. I believe you now.
On your eye for the pussy photo.
Do you think that's got to be someone's fetish, right?
What's that?
Eyes that look like
pussies?
vaginas?
I'm
Oh,
sure.
I wonder if you should do a makeup tutorial that makes the perfect vag on its side, but it's
Ooh.
literally just for that purpose.
That could be my next YouTube video.
What?
I don't.
I'm
know.
coming up with ideas.
I'm just tired of YouTube. I'm over it at this point. This ad apocalypse thing is driving me crazy. Everyone's going crazy about the fact that the Love Army guys, which do incredible work, they did a video about Las Vegas, and I think Casey Neistat in particular, and the video got demonetized. And YouTube said their policy was they don't place ads on any videos that highlight tragedy.
Did he
Which
want
I-
to monetize that?
Which I get. He wanted to donate the money that he was going to make from the
that makes
video
sense.
was part of the thing. And then after saying he wanted to donate the money, bam, it gets demonetized.
I would have
as
said
well.
that's a weird move to monetize it in the first place, but if he is planning
Yeah.
on.
And then, but
But then Jimmy Kimmel did a bit that they make a snippet for and put on YouTube, and it was about Las Vegas. And there's, I think, in particular, a GMC ad from the screenshot I saw. I get all my news from Phil DeFranco.
Do you think that was a part of like a larger contract piece that like it had to run
Well, see,
legally? It had to run an ad.
that's the thing I think a lot of YouTube creators are learning in this process with the ad apocalypse is that in this particular case, I think that Jimmy Kimmel's network sells ads against their own videos on YouTube, which you can do. You can sell ads and place your own videos if you on your own video if you want to do that. Anybody on YouTube can do that. It's part of your contract. At least last time I checked, it was.
So it's Kimmel being questionable, or his team?
No, I think ABC is ABC, right? I think ABC has a huge ad sales force. It's what they do for their business. So I think they sell against all their YouTube, so they don't make the same decisions that YouTube does, because the reason why YouTube has the rule is because they don't want people profiting from a tragedy. ABC is not going to make that same thing with Jimmy Kimmel because they know he's not doing that, you know? There's a vetting process by which they hired Jimmy Kimmel and gave him this late night show, and YouTube can't go through that process with every single YouTube creator who wants to make a commentary about a public or a recent event. They can't do that because it's impossible to do that at that scale, so the machines have to do it. So they have to come up with policies like this of like, hey, we're not going to monetize tragedies, just leave it alone. And you get some false positives, like in the case of the Love Army guys. But yeah, it's just like everyone's upset about everything, but it's just, I really do believe that this ad apocalypse is kind of a wake-up call for a lot of YouTube creators, of that the things that we all made fun of old media, about how it was lame and they always made the same products again and again. That's because of the influence of advertisers. That they wanted content that was very milquetoast and very easy to digest, and they could put their ads against it, and they paid for fucking everything. And that's why it got to be that way. And once we got stuff like cable, where you paid for it, paid for HBO, then you guys started to get really cool things that were made for television and on television. And then networks started to have to react to stuff like that. But the bottom line is, if you're going to take money from advertisers, they're going to have influence over what the content is. And everyone's upset that like that's some kind of change now. It's just that finally YouTube is catching up to that world.
Yeah, right.
If anyone gives you money, usually there's some sort of requirement that comes with it.
Which, if you gave money to someone, you would have the same thing. You would have that. I mean, even like we go back to this outrage over Szechuan sauce. People just gave their time, and they were still furious about the fact that their time was wasted over this. Imagine if you're paying tens of millions of dollars to a major corporation like Google, and suddenly your ad is placed against neo-Nazi content, and then the Wall Street Journal runs a story about that.
Right.
And
how neo-Nazis are getting money from your corporation.
From Walmart or whomever, whatever. So I just think it's one of those things where it's kind of catching up with the rest of the world. And I think that YouTubers in particular thought that the environment was different on YouTube, but it's the exact same. It's just that nobody was paying attention for a while. And now suddenly they're paying attention because of PewDiePie.
It's been a long time coming, even before that.
Yeah. Well, no, but the PewDiePie stuff really, I mean, he doesn't get enough credit, I think, for starting this ad apocalypse.
Starting racism?
Not starting racism, I'm not saying that, but it's just like PewDiePie is a very reportable person in the world of YouTube. Yeah. And if he does anything wrong, and it's a burden that only one person in the world is going to have at any point in time, PewDiePie being number one right now has it. But if he does anything wrong, it's just like to most of the mainstream world, he equals YouTube. Like it's just like you just copy him 100 million times, and then you have every creator on YouTube. We all know that's not the case, but for people who don't understand YouTube, that's right, the way they think the world is.
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about it. One of our Always Open episodes got demonetized because it had the word hentai in the title.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Could you have porn in the title?
Probably not. Yeah. We have to be so careful now. Always Open is already like,
what
a
about
dangerous
eyelid
show.
Pussy?
Let's call that this episode of the podcast that and see what
Congratulations, Barbara, on getting 1 million views.
Thanks, dude.
On one of the most recent episodes of Always Open. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
Got 1 million views?
We got 1 million views.
Got 1 million views. Just crossed 1 million.
Shit, dude.
With Mia Khalifa. I'll be honest.
She was lovely.
She was great, right?
Lovely human being. Yeah.
I was not familiar with her work previously, but obviously she has a huge audience.
Huge audience that
is ravenous for everything that she does.
Yep. And she was great. We're definitely going to get her back.
How much porn do you have to be in to where you're labeled a former porn star?
How are we quantifying this?
Is this one
year?
Is that what it is? Like one?
Yeah, one, right?
Is that it?
Sure.
Really?
Well,
come on.
porn
one
star.
sex tape.
Is porn star, does that define you as like someone who is famous in porn?
I feel like that when people report
ad read one day. Hope this podcast ends eventually.
I gave you the whole fucking demonetized
Then I was going to do an ad read right after you talk about.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
If your videos are demonetized on YouTube, sell your own ads, like our ad for Casper.
Right?
You couldn't do it then
I couldn't do it there.
Who are you trying to advertise?
Boy, I'm hungry to do an ad read.
Who are you trying? Tell me who the next one is. I'll set you up.
Blue Apron.
Blue Apron.
Set me up.
You didn't get it from I'm hungry to do an ad read?
Well, nature. drinks.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I didn't remember the sponsors. Sorry, you read them at the beginning. I had. Casper
I didn't remember
on the
it
brain.
because I missed them.
I had Casper on the brain. So
Don't worry. I think they're coming later, right?
So I just finished Whole 30, where I had to eat very difficult things to eat for a month. Boy,
Cooking
that was
is
hard.
hard.
It is, Barbara. It is hard.
Well, you know who can help you with
There's
that.
our boy.
Who could help
Is
us?
Blue Apron.
Oh.
This October, Blue Apron is celebrating its 5th anniversary by bringing back its top 20 recipes from throughout the past 5 years as picked by you, the Blue Apron community. Your favorite Blue Apron recipes are back on the menu for a limited time only. And that's one of the cool things about the service. You can actually rate the recipes from 1 to 5 stars. And I guess that's how they got this. They must have aggregated all of that. And for less than $10 per person per meal, Blue Apron delivers seasonal recipes along with pre-portioned ingredients to make delicious home-cooked meals. Customize your recipes each week based on your preferences. Blue Apron has several delivery options so you can choose what fits your needs. There's no weekly commitment, so you only get deliveries when you want them. Check out this week's menu. Get $30 off your first meal with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/roosterteeth. You'll love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron, so don't wait. That's blueapron.com/roosterteeth. Blue Apron, a better way to cook. Thank you, Blue Apron, for sponsoring this episode of the Rooster Teeth Podcast and for helping make it easy to prepare delicious food.
Delicious.
You were talking earlier about Google and how iOS. You were talking about how iOS 11 is crap.
Looking at here, yeah.
And
It's
And-
like the whole thing's on a delay now.
did you watch the Google thing about the Pixel 2 and the buds that they have? They did a really cool demo where I guess they're making their own headphones now, and they did a cool demo with someone using Google Translate where, like, let's say you and I were talking, the other person was talking in another language, the phone was listening to it and then telling that person in English in the earphones what they're saying, and the person would respond in English and then the phone would speak it back in the other person's language,
It's wicked.
so you can have like a little bit of a conversation. It was interesting to see.
Little babel fish.
Yeah, the adding in the earbud portion where you're keeping the language to yourself. I thought it was a really great demo. I'm curious to see how it actually works in reality.
I saw a graph today. It was an article saying, no, it's just you. Your iPhone isn't slower
I saw that.
on the new update. And in response to that, I'd like to say bullshit.
Who made the graph?
Future Mark did a study based on older iPhones, testing out the phones with different benchmarks along with each version of iOS, and the CPU and GPU performance remain consistent.
You know when
Horseshit.
you're playing The Sims and he's about to die, but he also needs to read and go to the gym, and you queue up a bunch of shit for him to do, and he eventually gets around to it. So my damn phone is like, where I'll like hit the button to unlock it, and it'll do nothing, and then I'll just be like annoyed, so I'll mash it.
Yep.
Literally 20 seconds later, my phone will go, pew, 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 pew,
Why do
will,
you-
like go on and off, and then he'll catch up. I can open messages; it will just linger on the app page. I can type an entire text message by predictively putting my thumbs where the keyboard is going to be, but really I'm hitting like calendar, notes, and all this other shit, and I can send it before the message app opens.
That's really badass. Actually, I mean, it's
It's a skill
inconvenient.
that I've had to learn because so often it's like messages, and it will just stick, and I'm like,
Yeah, I can't use Siri
how is that better?
Why do you guys?
with my headphones anymore.
Why do you guys do the update before they're fixing all the bugs? Like, I never do the
Because
update
it
when
was
it's available.
out for the public. They'd already tested it for months.
I never take the update when it's out for the public
Barbara?
until the second iteration of it.
That was smart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was smart, but I feel like
but
if
we
they're-
are on the second iteration. Still sucks.
if they're putting out a thing, because Apple, they don't just let you stay on the old version. They piss you off with it every day. Where it's like, there's a new version. You want to update? No. They'll do that over and over
So
again
just keep
until
saying no.
Well, there's
That's
also like
annoying.
there's that badge icon on the settings.
Yeah,
Like,
and
I
it's
gotta
like,
clear it.
The badge means, hey, we're ready. We've nailed it. We've been testing it.
You know what's
it's
more annoying?
ready.
A phone that doesn't work. So, anyway.
What?
Are you gonna order an iPhone X?
10.
I'll make
I
a
don't
deal
want
right
to buy
now.
an iPhone ever again.
I'll make a deal with you right now.
I want to smash this
If you
one.
guys buy the Pixel 2, I will switch.
But then we're going to be green people.
I know we.
But
are.
if we're all green,
But I'm off. I'm off of a Mac laptop anyway.
I'm
So-
ready to do it.
Just
I'm ready to go to
switch.
Hangouts.
I'm ready to
You
switch.
guys complain about
and I
this
know,
too much.
and
I'll do it right now. You want to
everyone
get
on
packed?
Twitter, they're like, my iOS 11's fine. It works just great. I'm happy for you.
My iOS 11 is fine.
Mine
It works
sucks
great.
though.
It's
Mine
not
sucks.
true. Gus, when you message people and the keyboard doesn't show up, which is
I said my iOS is fine.
25% of the time.
I acknowledge you probably have a problem.
I have problems
Thanks,
too.
Gus.
I want to can I get
My-
acknowledgement
mine-
coming this
mine's
way.
What's your
Yeah.
problem?
I acknowledge your problem.
Thanks, Gus.
Sometimes it just want to make. I just want to lie down.
I just want to lie down too.
Something really soft.
You want to lie down?
Yeah.
It's a little soon, dude. I can't do it right now.
No, we're not.
I just did the other one.
That's fine.
All right,
We'll
I'll
remind
try
you
again
that-
in like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll remind you that something's off.
Give me a couple more minutes.
Yeah. No, that was good, though. You're a good friend. You're like a friendly ghost.
Man, I'm really happy to be back
I
in
was
Texas
barely
on my
listening. That was
bed.
great.
No, now it's all segues and no payoff. That's all it is.
All segues, no podcast.
So this weekend's going to be cool.
I saw someone. So we were talking at the beginning of the podcast about going. Oh, sorry, that's not what I was going to talk about.
Oh.
No, that's what Barbara was setting up, and you immediately.
I was going to segue to something else. I saw earlier when we were talking about going to London
It's a million
this
view
week.
podcast.
Are you excited?
Someone was asking why we're going to London on
Someone,
Twitter.
like someone who follows Rooster Teeth was asking.
Someone tweeted using the hashtag RT podcast hashtag asking why we're going to London. RTX London is this weekend.
It is.
It's this weekend. We're going to be there for RTX London.
So excited.
Coincidentally, something else happening this weekend.
Yes. Ruby Volume 5 premieres on Saturday, October 14th for first members.
Can't wait.
And then a week later on YouTube. And then people could also see it in theaters on October 12th with Fathom events in the United States of America if you are so inclined to see
Go
it
see it
before everyone else
theatrically?
does. Yeah. It's people are also wondering why it's like an hour and a half.
We're going to have
showing?
Szechuan sauce at every show.
No,
Yes,
we are not.
guaranteed.
We are not.
They're showing some previous episodes from Volume 4 to lead up into it and some behind the scenes footage and all that stuff. That's why it's a longer showing.
Sure, we had to do something to fill out the time to make or to reward people for coming out to a theater.
Did you have fun in New York?
I had the best time in New York.
It was kind of worthless looking at the Instagram stories from you and Aaron and Lindsay.
Because they're all the same.
They are all identical.
Well,
I
See one,
didn't think it
see
was
one.
worthless. I had a good time.
thank you, Bernie.
You're welcome.
I
Thank
just
you for
looked
being
at-
a nice friend.
Hey, I only looked
jackass
at yours,
over there.
So
Oh,
it's all
thanks,
good.
Kevin.
I'm here to
Yeah,
help.
we God, there is nothing cooler than walking around New York City and seeing a Ruby billboard.
Yeah, that was
Pretty cool.
That was really cool.
Huge.
Or doing a panel at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, like it's unbelievable. So surreal. And everyone we met over the weekend was so great. And I don't know, it's just like it's cool to see Ruby be that legitimate. At
Yeah.
a con where they have like The Walking Dead
And
and,
the-
Pacific
And Northrop
Rim.
Grumman.
Stop it. Like the
Exactly.
Times Square one is cool, but for Ruby, to me, the big one was when there were billboards up in Japan, in Tokyo. That was, I don't know, something about that to me was like and that was a year ago at this point.
Yeah.
But it's amazing that the content that we make. You think about that show started in 636 in that like back little warehouse area.
Like the garage.
is where it started. It was kind of like a garage,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
I still remember when Monty was like, all right, I'm ready to show people, everyone gather around. And it was right after one of the all hands meetings, which
Yeah.
was like 22 people. And we all just watched it on the table.
Yep.
The whole company.
I also want to point out a lot of people have been asking, and I just got confirmation that we could announce it today, that the Yang trailer comes out on Saturday as well.
Oh, that's cool. Really? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
The Ruby Volume 5 trailer is out.
The real, yeah, it just came out today.
Yeah. There's some cool Yang
on
stuff in there.
YouTube. Yep. And then her trailer comes out on Saturday, I think publicly, so everyone could see it. But only first members could see the first episode on Saturday.
Yeah. We talk about it. I thought the Yang trailer in particular was an interesting approach to the trailer. The way.
They all kind of are similar.
Yeah.
I don't want to give away too much.
Right. Yeah, I thought it was really interesting.
But yeah, they all cover some backstory stuff.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. In different ways.
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right. So when is that coming out for the Yang trailer?
Saturday, October 14th.
Where is RTX London?
Is that the
London.
Excel Center?
Oh,
Excel
What?
Center?
that place.
It's awesome.
I mean, the place is great. The Docklands isn't.
It's a little out there. But, I mean, we looked at a lot of different venues. We looked at it when I was still
There's
involved
nothing
with
to
the
do
band.
around there.
This
You
is
can't even-
such a classic thing to do, though.
And-
So remember the time we went to Chicago for a con? And a guy said, are you ever going to
DLR.
come here? And
Yeah.
It's Chicago. And we said, we were just there 2 weeks ago. And his reply came back, well, that's the east side of Chicago. It's like, dude, we're coming all the way to fucking
Yeah,
Chicago.
you come
You can
see
come across town to come say hi.
For the
if
record,
you really
we know
want
there's no
I'm
east
going-
side of Chicago.
I'm
What?
going to.
There's no east side of Chicago.
Whatever we were doing. I forget.
Right. I'm just clarifying because I don't want you to get a million.
I feel
tweets
like
about
I'm
it
going
later.
to all of
Listen,
What's-
there's the
what's
east side of
the
Chicago. We don't let
easternmost-
everybody know about it. It's only for the cool kids. We go hang out in the east side of Chicago.
I'm doing like a Gavin tour. I'm going to London and then I'm going to Italy after that. So I'm doing like all the places that you're from.
What happened to Spain?
I want to backpedal on his
Ibiza.
Oh, we're not doing
fucking
Spain
bashing of our
It's not
of our event.
Ibiza.
What is it?
Was it?
It's a
It's
great
Ibiza.
venue. We looked at many venues, and
Ibiza.
it's the best one to scale with the size that we grow RTX.
Yes.
We've done
fucking prick.
plenty of MCNs in there.
Right.
In Excel.
Yeah,
Big
and
venue.
It's a great
It's a
venue.
great venue.
Guess
It's
what?
just-
I just heard.
It's in the middle of nowhere.
I just heard one of the funniest conversations of all time. And I'm so glad. I was like, I get to walk out of this meeting and not deal with this. Yvonne was grumpy about something. I use the word grumpy. And
You could get an email.
and Jeff picked up on it, and Jeff, who apparently hasn't learned anything in his career here, asked Yvonne, "What's wrong?" And she goes, "What do you think is wrong?" And he's, "I don't know." She says, "Well, our merch for RTX London, where do you think it is right now?"
It's in customs.
It's in customs.
Oh my God! Seriously?
Yeah, this was like 3 days ago.
Oh my God.
So we've been to London 2 different times when we just showed up and there was no
Well,
merchandise.
it arrives probably on Thursday. They'll be like, we'll get to that. And then they'll go home for the weekend
Yep.
and maybe not get to it. And
I-
then they won't touch it until Monday when the convention.
You and I were there in the booth once.
We
with
sold nothing all weekend. We hung out, we took pictures, and just had a chat.
Every now and
for a
then I get a
weekend.
phone call. It was like, "Yep, it's still in customs. Cool. Are we gonna get it? We're working on it."
And
Awesome.
then there's issues, I think, with like sending it back. Like you can't necessarily do that easily.
No, you're thinking about the griff ball thing. That was a different thing with you and Jeff and the griff balls.
Well, that was another time where we had all the griff balls and nothing else.
We had a
Oh no, we did have other stuff, but there was like
the license was expiring on the griff balls, so we just had a last chance to sell them all.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we sent them to, we guys had some, like,
boxes of boxes
we
of
built a
beer balls.
fort.
Yeah.
It was so big that we made rooms.
I
in
still
the
have one of
boxes.
those.
A
It's
griff
the,
ball?
one of the only pieces of merchandise that I kept.
I have 2. You know where they are? They're in the bottom of my dick suit as the testicles.
Is that true?
Yeah,
Those
that's
are
how
griff balls?
They're
So I stuffed my
perfectly
bollocks.
sized.
That's awesome.
They were the absolute perfect
You,
size.
you know, you had so many griff balls that you could have like laid down and taken a nap on them, but that would have been really uncomfortable.
It would have been
what would have been the
What's
perfect
more
way to
comfortable?
take a nap?
You know, if it's better to take a nap on
a bag of kittens.
a Casper mattress. I want to remind you, this episode of the Rooster Teeth Podcast is brought to you by Casper. I want to get out of here, dude. Casper is an online retailer of premium mattresses for a fraction of the cost. Casper makes outrageously comfortable mattresses that you've probably heard about a million times on podcasts. But as someone who has a Casper mattress, I can tell you it really does live up to the hype. Casper's mattress is an obsessively engineered mattress at a very fair price. Casper's made of supportive memory foams for a sleep surface with just the right sink and just the right bounce. Plus, its breathable design sleeps cool to help you regulate your temperatures throughout the night. I'm a lunatic when it comes to sleep, and I sleep on a Casper mattress every night. It's a product that I use every single day. You can buy it easily online and completely risk-free. It'll be delivered right to your door in a compact box. Casper understands the importance of truly trying out a mattress and all reality you spend a third of your life on. Casper offers free delivery and painless returns within a 100-day period, so you don't have to lie down in a showroom. Get $50 toward any mattress purchase by visiting casper.com/RT and using promo code RT. That's casper.com/RT and promo code RT. Terms and conditions apply. Free shipping and returns to the US and Canada, and now the UK, which will be there very soon. Thanks, Casper, for sponsoring this episode of the Rooster Teeth Podcast.
We'll be like on our way when some people are watching this on YouTube.
Yeah, it's true. Crazy.
Yeah.
When does this come out on YouTube?
Well, Wednesday.
Wednesday?
We'll be getting ready to go to the airport when it
It's
comes
this
out.
weekend. It's soon. It's really. I felt like the trip really snuck up on me. It was like it
Yeah.
seemed like it was in the future. It was a ways away. And then it was like, oh shit, it's like soon.
Well, I just got back from New York Comic Con about an hour and a half ago. Is when
Thank
I
you
saw
for coming straight from the airport.
Yeah,
to
Oh,
here.
is it true?
it. Came straight from the airport.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then we filmed 2 episodes of Always Open tomorrow, and then I get on a plane on Wednesday to go back to London.
Yeah,
I
you bringing
just-
Mia Khalifa back?
Not tomorrow, but
Fucking
eventually.
goals.
Eventually.
Get her back in that seat. Let's get her back.
We should.
I was at home for the first time since
Or just have Tyler do porn. Like one.
August.
That's
Then it'll be
Just one.
former porn star if he just does one.
There you go.
Is Tyler going to bang on camera?
I haven't seen the episode, but I understand that
Oh, thanks,
Tyler,
Bernie.
Tyler and Mia had a little.
Well, she's a huge sports fan,
Yes.
and Tyler's a big sports guy.
Yeah, she's like
they-
on a sports podcast or something, right? Yeah.
I think so. They had a really good chemistry. Yeah.
Your hair's great, right? Oh, why'd you cover up?
Look at that fucking hair. Too much hair. I'm getting my hair cut tomorrow.
who's
at
going to
11 a.m.
London?
Before
Are we all going?
yeah, we're all going.
We're going to do a podcast there.
How many of us are going?
13, 7?
There's a lot of people who are
17?
going. There's a weird thing going on right now at the company. I'm getting tired of navigating, which is obviously it's a first year event, which means we have a lower attendance at this event. We have a smaller venue,
Right.
which means we send less people.
And you don't want to set the precedent of sending 1 billion people every single year. because that's not always
we can't.
doable.
Yeah, we can't do that. However, there are a number of people at the company who really want to be there for the first year event.
Yep.
So they are saying, I want to be at London. I'm going to go to London. I'm going to, take some time off,
As like an attendee.
and I'm going to pay to go. But for some reason, we are refusing to acknowledge those people who are making that effort on their own behalf. And I'm not really sure why we aren't doing that. Like if someone's going to London, why don't we just say they're going to London?
Like
they'll be
Jeremy,
there as
for
well.
example?
Like Jeremy. Ashley's going, right? I don't know if Ashley's on the list. She might be on the original list.
Yeah, see, like
But-
I didn't even know
just
that.
like stick him on the schedule because everyone wants
If
to
they're
see
going to
him?
be there. Yeah.
Well,
And
it's not fair to someone to stick them on the schedule if they're paying out of their pocket to go.
it's also not fair to tell them they
'Cause it's
can't show up and go on a panel.
But if they want to be there and they
I get it.
Yeah, I think they don't want to short circuit the cadence of the way that the event grows. Like you don't want to have everyone go out, pay out of pocket, go the first year, and then not be interested in going in future years.
And also
I think it's a
technically
great
work.
thing that they would want to go.
No, it is a great thing.
Yeah.
And it's
But-
like not only. I won't say anything else.
No, it's a great thing, and it's really admirable. But it's you got to be careful with the way that the event rolls out and grows.
What? Because it might be.
I get what you're saying
harder
there.
to one up next year.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying
Right,
there.
because you want to have people, you want to have a reason for them to come back in future years.
Yeah, but if people want to go, it should be like, man, great.
Yeah, but all the good
No,
people
that's
are going
great.
in the first year. Sorry. I wanted to make my day even harder with this discussion.
I feel like we're all pretty
you're pretty what?
in the cycle of
Thank you.
there are 3 RTXs in a year now, and it's like block out your calendar.
We need a fourth, and that way I will never do another convention.
Antarctica.
Let's do it.
I already stopped going to conventions. It's
Let's
great.
do RTX Fatberg.
I do a lot of conventions.
I
now.
only go to RTXs now because I hate conventions. I
love
hate other
conventions.
people's conventions.
I love conventions.
If you are at RTX London
I love our conventions.
and you are coming to Gavin's signing, do not forget to bring him a bag of kittens because that's how he rolls.
But make sure they're
But-
covered in jizz.
I'm only going to get one
Oh,
good
they will be.
blast because then it's going to just dribble out. Like a second or third jizz, it's never got the oomph of the
Why
first.
would it
No,
be?
I never
Why
had
would it
problems
be
with
the
that.
second or
What do you mean
third?
you never had the-
Why would it be
Josh,
the
you have
first?
problems with that?
What do you
Yeah, it's diminishing.
Yeah, like if okay, so
I
if
was trying to make him feel
Oh, yeah,
self-conscious.
oh, I don't.
Why don't you
I
just
know
use
my
your
body.
first jizz on the kittens?
Well, because I can only do that once.
There's so many kittens.
What if someone brings a second box of kittens?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Please
Do not
don't
bring me
bring
kittens.
kittens.
I will not jizz on them. I might squeeze their head a little bit if you happen to have a kitten.
I don't think you're allowed to bring kittens.
I don't think animals are allowed unless besides service animals.
Yeah.
Do not bring a kitten, but I appreciate the effort.
Follow the rules.
No, bring kittens for Gavin. We're going to have metal detectors at this one?
I don't know.
Those London people can't be trusted.
Is 3 kittens too many?
Are we
Yes.
going to allow Irish?
Sis?
Irish.
What is this, the 1940s?
Just in general.
Did you say, are we allowed Irish?
Are we going to allow Irish? Are we going to allow them?
Yes.
I don't know. Seems weird. Maybe we
What the
don't
hell's
do
going
that.
on over there? Did you have one beer and it went straight to you?
He was on that
We're
whole
in the
third-
UK, right? I don't know. It doesn't seem appropriate.
Ireland's what?
Northern Ireland's in the UK.
Northern Ireland is. Yeah, they can come. They're not real Irish. All right, I'm going to offend everybody in this one today.
Jesus.
Aren't you Irish?
I am Irish. Thank you. Yeah. I don't want to go.
My
I'm trying to get out of it.
my 23andMe is a mess.
Yeah, it is.
Barely British, and just it's like oh shit.
What
all
are
over
you
the place.
mostly?
European? What a mess.
Southern European, 54%.
Yeah.
That's the highest percent. I'm 99.3% Eastern European.
Really?
Wait,
Yeah.
I see that, Barb.
99 East, like specifically Eastern, or 99% European.
Like if you met Barbara in the Czech
A
Republic.
dark alley.
Yeah. Would you be, or in Poland? Like she would look like
Sweden.
a girl I would see in Poland. Sweden's not Eastern Europe, but good try.
No, as in like that's where I would look at her and think, yeah, you belong.
You look Swedish.
Shut up.
Only because you look like Felix.
Swedish.
I'm a 6.7% Jewish. Oh,
How do you know? It just says Jewish is a.
Ashkenazi Jewish.
It says
Ashkenazi,
actually.
that's what I
It says Jewish as a.
Ashkenazi Jew. It's
Okay,
like
got
a region.
I've
Got
got
it.
that too. I don't know. I think I've got like 4%.
It was
Ashkenazi?
interesting. I like doing that.
Yeah.
23andMe thing. I'm also going to apparently get age-related macular degeneration,
Are you really? Sorry
is-
to hear that.
which is just go blind.
Shit.
2.6%. Sorry.
2.6% you?
Yeah.
Guys, let's friggin' have a Passover Seder together.
Laheim.
You should have bar mitzvahs and get circumcised.
I'm sorry.
No.
I'm only getting 6% circumcised.
So like a little
Little sliver. Just the
No,
side.
Yeah, like a paper
I'm going
cut?
to get 0% circumcised. How about that?
Just take like a wood planer. One pass.
I was saying like a paper cut.
Oh, God. Oh, God. We need you to get an erection right now. Don't worry about it.
Oh God, no thanks. Just a little shaving, little.
This conversation doesn't affect me in the
Forrest,
least.
you got any more ad reads to do over there?
No, we're done. Let's get out of here.
Oh, okay.
Hey, it was fun to be
All
back on the podcast, guys.
I'm glad
It
you're
was.
back.
I think this was like getting back in the groove with us, though.
Why?
You looked at my armpit. Do I have a sweat stain on my armpit?
No, you're good.
You just looked at
Getting
it.
back into the groove?
Chris Damaris always has sweat stains on the podcast, and I always.
Thanks
He
for
also,
watching,
he also
everybody.
sits like this.
We'll see you
does.
guys next time.
Love you.
I don't have sweat stains.